nothing left to say. How to get up, walk away. Know when to hold 'em, know when to fold. Know when to hold 'em, know when to fold. Cold sweat, blood in my eyes, thunder rolling through the skies. I can feel it in the air tonight. Say I won't, but you know I might. Ain't no storm and ain't no feet. Ain't got time and ain't got sleep. But I feel fine and I feel free. 'Cause I'm the last man standing in the street. Always something, always something. All I ain't got, but I ain't got no axe to grind. Know when to hold 'em, know when to fold. Know when to hold 'em, know when to fold. I've been tempted, I've been tried. Know you wanna test my pride. I suggest you go and move. Say I won't, but you know I might. Ain't no storm and ain't no feet. Ain't got time and ain't got sleep. But I feel fine and I feel free. 'Cause I'm the last man standing in the street. I'm the last man standing in the street. I'm the last man standing in the street.
If you see me coming, I'm about to get it started. Get it started. I'ma show you something that you never knew you wanted. Yeah, you want it. Claws out, unleashed, I'm a beast. Got the whole crowd. Party, make a scene, gonna get loud. Real proud, show my teeth. Go wild like an animal. Like an animal! Like an animal! Go wild like an animal! Wildin' out like an animal! Go wild! I'm a machine working every day the hardest. Superhuman vision, got my eyes on the target. Crawls out, unleashed, I'm a beast. Got the whole crowd. Party, make a scene, gonna get loud. Real proud, show my teeth. Go wild like an animal. Like an animal. Like an animal. Go wild like an animal. Wildin' out like an animal. Go wild like an animal. Like an animal. Go wild like. Like an animal. Go wild like. Like an animal. Like an animal. Go wild like an animal. Wildin' out like an animal.
Yo,
What up,
folks? How's everybody doing?
Dude, let's go. Let's go, folks.
Dude, Clarksville, right?
It is Clarksville week, baby. The Clarksville sellout. I'm not even calling it the Clarksville Major anymore. I'm just calling it the Clarksville sellout.
I think people are so excited about it because it's like the most exclusive tournament ever, right? Sold out very quick. People can't get tickets. They're wondering why. It is what it is, folks.
People
if you got a
fired
ticket,
up.
I can't wait to see you there. If you didn't, come and hang out, man.
Yeah, people are fired up. And to be honest, you guys are lucky that I was throwing bad when I bought tickets for this thing for some other people, because I should have bought myself a ticket. I would have taken somebody's slot and started smoking fools out of pool play.
Yeah. You should.
Especially
should
in my New Jersey.
Yeah,
Bill, look
yeah.
at these things, folks. This is
We're both pros back in the day, man. This is
look
long
at this.
ago.
What a season we got here. ACO Pro Season 15, folks. Let's go. Maggie Geiger, Wayne Rao. Shout out to our Wisconsinites. They even washed these right before they sent them out to us.
We appreciate that, Wayne. I know you sweating a lot of games in this one, man, but it's freaking clean.
I know for a fact Maggie wasn't pregnant in this season, because if she was, this thing would not have fit. I mean, it's a little tight on the guns here, folks. That's for free. And but hey, thanks Maggie and Wayne, dude.
I'll tell you
for
what.
sending the jerseys, dude. These are nice.
These look freaking awesome.
Yeah, we'll get ours.
I
We'll
hope
probably
they-
like season 37.
But I hope they go back to this style, man. This is freaking cool. They look good.
No,
like
these are-
they look clean.
Well, I think most of the pro jerseys, the only ones that I was not a huge fan of was season 18 with like the
Yeah.
stars on them. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of those, but like some people loved them. Like, it's whatever, right? It's a jersey. I didn't earn it, so it is what it is.
Yeah, these ones are bad.
Yeah, we got a little bit of stolen valor going on tonight, folks. If that's we're not real pros, but we are pros.
What up, Wayne and Maggie? Yeah, it's definitely Maggie over there. He fits.
Yeah.
It fits him good.
It's because I backpack Bill everywhere, or Wayne. Same thing. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
I'm just kidding, Wayne.
Every time I pick Wayne, he doesn't give me any points, man. He's gotten you a ton of points.
What if you've cursed him now wearing his jersey, Bill?
Oh, I hope not. I think he'll like it. And next
But
time
folks,
I pick him.
we got a lot more jerseys coming too, man. Reach out to a lot of pros, and we got a lot of cool stuff coming. And someday
yeah.
the CBC Palace will have pretty much a whole wall of fame.
Oh, yeah.
With these things framed in them. And so if you're a pro, man, and you guys want to send something in, we're not taking anything less than pro, folks. Don't be sending me your jersey from freaking Club Crap 13 years ago.
Club Crap.
All right, that was a little
Oh,
far.
man, that was
But,
bad. That was bad.
But we're going to have them on a wall, man. And
Yeah.
it's going to look super, super sick, man.
Super
And-
rare ones like these, we're putting in cases, right? We're going to
Yeah.
put in cases, hang them on the walls.
Yeah,
and
the
then,
two we have from Jeremiah.
you know, the other ones that we get every day, maybe we'll hand those out and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hand
We
them
ain't
out.
handing them out.
Hand them out. What up, David Riley?
What's going on? Hey, let's get into
let's get
the
into
flyer because I know everybody's been told a million times, but this is the week. Actually, tomorrow is the day. So if you guys are still looking for a place to go, Miggy's they got very little bit of room. I would sign up right now.
Yeah.
I think last time I checked, it was 37 out of 50 or something like that.
Wow.
So I expect that to fill up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to the American Legion. If you're coming with us at the Raging Axe, man, it's going to be a great time. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Yeah, folks, it's going to be 64 people in there at least playing. You know, it's going to be a packed house. I'm going to let you know right now, a little tidbit, folks. Show up as early as you can because parking is going to be a little wild.
Parking's going to be nuts.
It's gonna be packed in there, folks. I just hope you're patient, have a good time, visit the bar, hang out with us. There's gonna be plenty of space. Bring your families, throw some axes, do some stuff, man. This is our spot.
If parking does get a little nuts, there is a Walgreens like literally next door in the same parking lot area. I mean, I'd park there.
And I think they said the rental car lot above it, right? Like on the up towards the Starbucks, which you guys will see if you guys are Starbucks lovers. And that lot could be used as well, as long as and the Starbucks lot really, which isn't that far either. So there is parking, just not all like right there on top of the venue if it begins to overflow. Just a heads up.
I do want to throw one thing out here because I know Daryl's never going to watch this before tomorrow. If you message me, if you find me on Facebook somehow and message me, I might, if you show up and you say, hey, Bill, I made it, and I message you, I'm going to totally ghost your message. I'm not even going to answer it. But if you show up and it's before the tournament time, during sign-up time, maybe I'll give you my slot. If not, dude, I'll buy you a beer.
Yeah, Daryl Macon, he messaged me today. He wanted my slot, folks. But I've been throwing kind of good. I'm probably going to pull I don't know, maybe a Brock Beasley, maybe a Craig Irvin, you know, just somebody light.
I'm gonna pull Craig, Hoppy, Brock, Bryce K. I'll pull. I'd love it. We'll tear it up. You ain't gonna get anybody, dude. It's gonna be you and.
I don't need anybody. I carried a 5.21 PPR to a second place, which we're gonna talk about here just a second.
Let's get in it. Let's get in it. The winner circle, folks.
Let's go.
Okay. We got actually something a little special just for Dylan on this one, so I want to make sure you guys watch this one. Here we go.
Good. Oh, I know.
It's gonna be a minute.
I
it's
know
gonna
what
be
it
a minute.
is, dude.
All right.
I don't know, but I know.
First one here, Alexa Burrows, right?
Alexa Burrows, man, she sent us this picture, and her boyfriend Nick Gardner, I believe. I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty sure there. I'm like 93.7% sure. And throwing the carbons, man, and she loves these bags, man. And this is third place in the regional. Fantastic
third
stuff.
place, awesome. I love it. I was talking to her just the other day about the carbons and stuff like that.
We haven't even started streaming, and you've already made Ashley mad. This is typical, folks. This is
Ashley, I'm glad
Bill.
you're here. I did have a funny name, which means I did pick you in one event earlier today. I did have a funny name in there. Dylan said, no, you can't put that in there. So I thought you were a good sport, but Dylan says you are not a good sport.
This
you
is
absolutely
a family
hate me.
show,
Not
folks.
going to happen. Dustin, what up, big dog?
All right, let's keep it rolling here.
All right,
Bill.
number 2 here, we got Cool Daddy.
And
right?
Sean, yeah, they threw Preds. No bags in the picture, but they did. This is the CBC sweep that we talked about last Friday. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Cool Daddy's a great player, newer player, throws like a beast. Sean's been around a minute, throws well. I mean, they did great.
Yeah, Cool Daddy beat me in a regional in singles the other day, man. I was not happy about that. He's a slick side player. My blocks were way off,
Yikes,
and man,
folks.
he got me. He got me. He's a
Yikes.
good guy, man. I think he may be signed up. I'm not sure. Scotty Ball.
Scotty Ball impacts. Let's
Taking
go,
second
boy.
place. Scotty
Let's
Ball's
go.
always in here. Everybody knows Scotty. So,
Yeah.
looking good, though, Scotty. Looking good, man.
Megan Puckett, dude, and this is second place in a singles regional. This isn't women's, man. And she threw gas. If you guys haven't watched that game on the, I think it's North Alabama Cornhole page, Kelsey versus Megan for the championship. I think Kelsey threw a 10-9-8, and Megan threw like a 10-8 something over 24 rounds. These ladies throwing absolute gas.
I think it was a 10-2 and a 10-5 when it was all said and done.
Okay.
But it is online. I mean, Will Mansell was the one who was streaming it. Go back and watch it. It was insane how well these women threw. It was freaking awesome. I watched the whole thing live.
No, it was
sorry.
No, Bryce King is just giving me compliments.
My lifetime going to. We're gonna name it because it is kind of its own thing now. His mustache. It's gonna have a whole story. It's gonna have its own name. Every time he talks to me, I don't know if it's him or his mustache talking to me. To be honest,
two different personalities, folks. That's for sure. Who's that, Bill? Is that Zach Rush?
Zach Rush, Dead
my
Records,
guy,
man.
dude. I don't recognize him in the flannel. I'm used to him in a pro jersey or a corny 40 or like a CBC shirt or something, you know? Dude, Zach throwing gas. Does that Dead Reckons?
Dead Reckons. I believe they are. Yeah, they're Dead Reckons.
Gnarly.
Yeah, Zach made a post on Facebook the other day about, what to ask your wife or your girlfriend and a whole bunch of stuff. I read through it, man. He's a working dude, man. He's got that flannel. He's looking good, man.
He's grinding.
Yeah.
Patrick Landrum. Who's his partner there?
I don't know.
That's yeah, you do, Bill. We had dinner with him. That's Mike Gammon.
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Gammon.
Okay.
Yeah. Solid team right there. If that's a blind draw right there, that's a beast of a
That
team.
is
Patrick
a solid
Landrum,
blind
man,
draw.
he can throw with the carbons. He can throw with the Phoenixes. He can throw with the impacts. That dude probably has, I mean, if he doesn't have every CBC bag, he easily could and make it work. Lefty, nice.
He'll
back
be
tilt
here
on
in
his bag.
Clarksville, man.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to see the
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
He's he's a very
Come
good
see
guy,
us,
too.
Patrick, because I've got something for you, actually.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff for you.
Yeah.
Actually, a bunch of stuff. So yeah, we'll see you at the major.
AT said, "Did I fly choppers in Nam with this stash?" Dude, I feel like
he's got to cut the sides though. He's got to get it. It can't go over the lip if you're in the military. You know that.
Dude,
Let's
come on.
go.
If you were traveling the jungles, you don't think they'd let a little bit of this fly?
In the jungle, they would. They'll
Right.
let anything fly in the jungle, man.
Right.
Chris Pfluger, I'm working every single. Yeah. Chris is.
No, Chris is going hard.
And Chris has got 2 sets
Chris
coming.
just ordered 2 more sets, dude. Chris is the man.
So, Chris, I want to tell you something I haven't told Dylan. Dylan's going to be pissed, okay? But whatever. Let's see his...
Oh, dude.
Chris, we shipped them already, dude. They're coming.
Chris,
They're
I didn't
coming
want
right
him to
now.
ship him because
He told me not to ship.
nobody's bags that are Ronins that have been ordered online are supposed to ship until Monday.
They're shipped.
Like, you won't get them before the people who pre-ordered them, but bullcrap.
They're going to be
Chris,
there. They're going to be there. Dude, I told you.
If I can pull this shipping stamp, I'm about to be on it after the stream.
Kelsey, 1083, 1063. She's right. Hey, I'm a liar. I was completely wrong. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I reduced it to a 10-2 and a 10-5.
That's Eddie Weatherington.
What's Eddie Weatherington?
Instead of Michael Gammon, I thought that looked like Michael Gammon. And I'm way off.
And I knew. Okay, all right. Next one here. We already got him up. Brock Beasley.
Beast.
I'm not sure who's Brock's partner there though. Do you know?
Is that Derek Bockham?
No.
Maybe Adam Willis?
That's not there. Yeah, the
Maybe
beard.
Randy Heath?
I should know my bearded brothers out there though, but it is what it is. Don't know him. Brock Beasley, he's absolutely solid. Always wins everything he goes to. At least podiums, right?
Yep. There he is again, first place in the regional. He looks swagged out right there. He's got the chain. He's got like the old school like baseball jacket on.
He's got his
He's
smile.
got the
like,
poof.
Yeah.
The poof is going hard right there.
He needs to teach my son how to do the
guys,
poof. I think my son really likes his hairstyle.
If you guys have a girlfriend, just keep him away from Brock.
That's very true. Very true.
Mr. Steal Your Girl and steal your bags and steal the podium all the time.
Everything. Yeah, he does the CBC sweep.
Bear Paw. That's the guy. Bear Paw, dude. He's coming in hot this weekend. I'm excited to see Bear Paw.
Do you think he's gonna throw his new Phoenixes, the Bear ones that he has right now, or do you think he was just breaking those in during these tournaments?
No, I think that's hard to say. He's got what, 3 sets now? 3 different sets.
He's
got the OGs.
has,
Well, no, 2 sets of OGs, because OGs for season 1, OG for this season, right? Like the back half of last season, and then the grandfather ones that we did with all of his grandchildren's names on them, and the number 5 super cool set, and then that set. So
he's got a bunch.
I guess maybe what if they all play like a little different, and he's the only one that knows like the board conditions, and he switches them out.
I'm sure he knows when one little pellet falls out of his hand into the bag. So, all right, here we go. Number 10, Zach Rush
again.
Winning it with the carbons, man. I think that is really his bag. We had him on stream in Knoxville, and man, he was throwing good. Him against Fergie, that is a game like, folks. If you haven't seen that game, Zach Rush against Fergie, that is a classic. I mean, these two knew each other.
Place,
And this is like the first time in a while that I've seen Fergie sit there and lock. I mean, you know how Fergie is. He's wonderful for the sport. Absolutely love the guy. But I just hadn't seen it this year yet until that specific game. It was insane.
Fantastic stuff.
All right. Oh, there's me. We got Dylan over here.
Second place.
Second. You're holding up the number 2.
That's right. Hey, let's go, folks. I am out of retirement just recently. Bill's going to set me up for something right here. But I am out of retirement
what are you
just recently. If we want to do a PPR comparison over the last 30 days, Bill, I will post our scoreholios. If that's the game,
everybody in the game knows that PPR doesn't matter when you win.
Let's do DPR.
When you
think you
win.
got DPR?
Look,
dude, I'm fired up, folks.
This guy, look, he's holding up the number 2. He's holding up the number 2. You guys ready? Here we go. Bam! Who's got the number 1? Same tournament. He got wrecked. I mean, absolutely wrecked. It was a wonderful... he threw good, man. It is what it is. He threw great. I just had to throw something a little extra special in there for me because I got the dub. Folks. Everybody's always like, oh, who's better, Dylan or Bill, this and that. Now we have verifiable evidence that is on stream. I'm the better.
I love it. No, I can't wait till we play singles. Folks, we're going live cash games ASAP. Maybe tonight.
No, we're not. Look, verifiable evidence.
I will talk to the regional directors in my area and make sure we get matched up first at every regional, and I will put you in the losers bracket immediately.
You know when I lock. There's no beating me.
I'm fired up now.
Dude, I'm just joking around.
No, I'll beat you all airmails.
All right. Oh yeah, you do. Okay.
Jaden Ellis style. You see that the other day? Him and his partner won a tournament throwing all airmails. Jaden Ellis and his partner. They were getting a bunch of crap for it.
Yeah. Oh wait, that was a while back. Right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, there was okay. I know last year that happened. That somebody won like a full regional or something like that, or they got second place and they were throwing all airmails. People were getting kind of pissed because they thought it was a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, hey, congratulations, dude. Bill threw good. He went undefeated that night. I had a hard carry. Like, I love my partner, dude. My boy Martin, dude. He's awesome, good dude. We lost our first freaking match. We lost our first one, right? 21-14. We come back, dude. This guy throws. I love Martin. New player. Pretty new, right? 2 months, maybe?
Yeah.
And
you
only comes on Fridays.
Well, look,
there's my boy Martin. He's in his Army PT shirt. Solid stuff. And he threw a 5.21 on the night, folks. So if you have carried somebody to a second place or a podium that is better than a 5.21,
Hold up.
put it in the chat. No.
There we go.
Come on, folks.
There we go. That's all I gotta say.
Bill's partner threw an 8.
Yeah, he did.
Threw an 8.
I threw a dirty game. It was a little bit lower PPR than 8. No big deal.
All right,
I still won.
let's move on.
All right,
Bill.
we're moving
The
on.
people are tired of us.
Do we need to do this?
The point chart, folks.
Go ahead.
Let's get into
Hit
it. We'll
it
just
real
explain.
quick.
Okay. Point chart, folks. So we make picks, myself, Bill, and Philip Barnett. He is the expert on this, the Mississippi Ninja. He picks on Tuesdays. He has no rules, folks. He has no rules. He does whatever he wants. Bill and I, we never match up. We never pick the same player twice unless it's like a passion or like a doubles and then a singles or something like that. Then it's allowed.
Right.
That's it. But first place for your division, 10 points, second place 9, third place 8, fourth place 7. After that, the players tie in their bracket, so the points go down by 2. Fifth place 5, seventh place 3, ninth place 1. No participation trophies in CBC. You got to take a top 10 if you want some points on the family picks, folks. Let's go.
I love when he does that, dude. I love it. It's wonderful.
All right, so
Okay.
let's talk Medford. Let's go. Hey,
Yep.
the West Coast showed up last weekend.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute. We're gonna talk about.
I
who
had a
showed up in
long
the West Coast.
conversation last night,
Yeah.
folks. A
Yeah.
great conversation.
That'll
A
be
fantastic
how
one.
we open Family Feud, just to, or in announcements maybe, just to give them the respect, because that cool freaking
Yeah.
club, cool bag makers, everything. Just were able to meet them. Had a very long and awesome conversation with these guys. But let's talk about that.
Yeah, women's folks, Kim takes it down. Kim Dice, no surprise there. Kim Dice, an absolute animal. And she does really well when she's traveling, Bill. I think I've noticed that. Like, the farther Kim goes away from where she lives, the better she is.
Yeah, okay.
And I think she just, like, enjoys the traveling of it and, like, getting out and, like,
Yeah.
doing the things in the new area. And, like, you don't have the pressure of, like, everybody you know being there and all that kind of
very
stuff.
true, yeah.
And I think we always see her perform well outside of kind of the localer majors to her. You know, the 8-hour radius, the 10-hour radius. You know, she moves a little farther out than that. The traveling, the Chad and Kim's Adventure bus, it goes far.
They did. It does.
And went all the way to Oregon last weekend.
Yeah.
And she wins the tournament in women's. Fantastic
super supporter
stuff.
of the sport too.
Yeah,
She's
Denise
awesome.
Rosen takes second, and that's a Haggard bag player right there, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And Michelle Persinger, third place. Mahalia Sellers, fourth place. Rebecca Grimes, Justine Smith, fifth place. And then Bill's pick, Juana Karash, takes a ninth.
Yeah.
So that was women's. Saw a
Juana Cross let me down a little bit.
22
Just a little
women
bit.
out
It's no
there.
big deal though.
22 women out there in Oregon, Bill. That's a fantastic showing. Fantastic. We thought that all these West Coast majors were a waste of time and all that kind of stuff, and it's going
No,
well.
there's a good showing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely a lot more numbers are going out to these places. Freaking awesome.
Yeah. Seniors, Phil takes Mick. Mick takes it down. Mick threw
Yeah, Mick
great
did.
all
I
weekend,
watched
dude,
it.
and we're going to talk about him in singles here later. Great job. Second place was Florentina Mendoza, who nobody knows still. Just watched him throw really well all weekend. I heard he was an ex-ACL pro, so it makes sense.
There
that he's
was
throwing
a
good.
ton of people that were scanning people, which means that they didn't, maybe they had memberships, but they didn't have their Scoreholio,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So there
Right.
was a bunch new
Yeah.
people.
Michael Manbill, your pick takes third.
I love it.
Rick takes fourth. That's my boy Rick right there. Fifth place, Bill Travis and Kevin Odell. I don't know him, but congratulations to those seniors right there, the cane dwelling folks, as I like to say. Bill hates it when I say
Dude,
that.
Bob,
folks.
if you watch this later, man, we're just
Dude,
joking.
we haven't heard from
We're
Bob
just-
Heil since
Bob-
the seniors comments.
Bob doesn't talk to us anymore, folks.
Juniors.
Oh, I'm
Karsten
sorry.
Morris. Carson with a K. Let me be specific here. Carson with a K takes it down. Takes it down.
Look at you, man.
And he
Solid.
double dips. Small tip from Haggard Baggers here, Bill. The Haggard Baggers CEO, president, told Carson Morris he'll give him $100 if he double dips juniors. Bingo,
Well, there
double
he goes.
dips juniors. He
Gets the
told
money.
me. He told me you bet on this guy. You give this guy a bet, he won't lose. He's crazy like that. He's
I
just one of
think
those
I'm
guys.
like that too.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna bet on some games soon.
No, but somebody else has to bet on me.
Oh, okay. Second place, Max Pelter. Third place, Owen Neville. Fourth place, Baker Neville. Fifth place, Grady Neville. And Luke Walker, your pick, Bill. So the Neville family out there going hard in
Jeez.
juniors.
Did I take a fifth or a
Fifth,
seventh? Okay, fifth. Yeah.
And
What did,
Phil's pick, Julian, takes ninth. Who's a staple out there on the West Coast. Won the Fresno Juniors major. And now goes 0-2 or 1-2 here in Medford. Wild stuff. Anything can happen.
Oh yeah. All right. Luke Walker. I've never met the guy in my life. I picked him because I thought it was a cool name. That's what it
Solid,
was.
Bill.
Got me 5 points. I love it. Maybe I got to try that strategy some more.
Co-ed, Phil takes Chad and Kim. They win it. I'm not surprised there. We went a little bit out on the edge on this one.
We did.
I took Justine Smith and Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones, a great pro. They took 7th.
That's
7th
not
place.
bad.
Well, and Justine, she's going for Road Dogg this year, so she has a lot of different co-ed partners. So
Right.
we know bag matchups can be tough. Just player team matchups
Yeah, we know
can be tough.
Justine's good. We don't know about
yeah.
Chandler. You
No,
know what I mean?
Chandler's.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
I was like, what? It's like, Bill, do not. Michelle Persinger and Joey Persinger, the cornhole couple right there.
Yep.
5th place. Second
Solid.
place, Philip Swanson and Jessica Clark. Leah Cesario and Chris Eddington. 3rd place. 4th place, Karsten Morris. Karsten with a C. And Stephanie Soto. And then another team tied for 5th place, Aaron Rosen and Denise Rosen from Haggard Bags.
My doubles picked it awesome.
They won. Good pick, Bill. And those are, Tommy Morgan, folks, was throwing for CBC. Throwing with CBC is what I'll say.
Right.
No formal contract, but we love the guy. We've given him a couple
Tommy's
deals
awesome.
here and there. He's bought multiple sets of back. He takes care of us. We take care of him a little bit, but it's never been anything formal. Recently, he got a deal to go somewhere else. We talked about this multiple times. We're stoked for him. Tommy Morgan
Tommy's
is going to
great.
continue to support us. We are going to continue to support Tommy Morgan. And that's just something I wanted to say there. People are like, oh, well, he was throwing CBC and now he's throwing high roller. It's like, good for him. He got a deal.
I know.
Good for him. He's earned it.
We get messages from a lot of people that are like, hey, I just want you guys to know I got another sponsorship somewhere. Big supporter of you guys. Love your bags.
Yeah.
But these guys are giving me a deal, this and that, and we're like, hey, you get a deal, that's wonderful. Yeah, you should be happy. Who picked you up? And super excited about it. That's fine.
Kim and Chad take 2nd in doubles overall, Bill. Great finish for Kim and Chad all weekend. They did really, really well. 3rd place, Mick and Rick. That's my boys, dude. Mick and Rick go hard
They
in
took
doubles.
3rd in that? I thought they took 2nd.
No, 3rd.
Really?
They played for the King's seat and dropped down. Kim and Chad beat them.
Okay, yeah.
Karsten took a 7th.
7th.
Respectable,
Phil.
Bill. Yeah, and 4th place, Danny Lemon. Frank Gears, folks, takes 4th place in doubles. The president of the ACO is not just
He can
working
throw.
for you. He's not just out here running the
Look.
organization. He's also putting bags in the hole.
His pitch may not be the prettiest,
It is the standard
but he can
backyard
throw.
pitch.
But he
It
can
is-
throw.
It is the staple, the standard, the best looking backyard pitch, right? It is like, if you were to put it in like a 3-second video, what does it look like when somebody throws backyard bags for the first time? A video of Frank Gear shows up, and he's been doing it the longest, longer than anybody else, the governing body.
But he's mastered it. He throws it very well.
Dude, he's a beast.
What's the over/under on Frank Gears? Messaging us in chat right now.
Frank Gears might pop in.
We'll give him 15 minutes.
He's
15
not.
minutes.
He's not in Clarksville yet, or he'd be here, folks.
Yeah.
Sorry, we would have
Oh,
drug
yeah,
him
we would've
into
got-
the
yeah.
booth
Yeah.
and had some time with Frank.
JC says Frank and I took 2nd in doubles last year. Yeah, dude, Frank can throw. Man.
Frank likes Medford. That's what that tells
Yeah,
me.
he does.
That's doubles, folks. So singles, Bill, let's go. 2 for 2 doubles and singles. Mick takes it down.
Bink.
Dude, and I'm so stoked for Mick, bro. Mick has been, everybody who knows Mick has been throwing gas for a couple years, but hasn't put it all together yet. And he travels a lot. He's probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met in the sport.
We talked about him last week too.
Yep.
He looks like that construction superintendent or something that
He's
just kind of
worked
walks
hard.
on the job and yells at people and tells them to get to work and stuff
He
like
looks
that.
like he may have been part of like an Irish gang at some point and
Could've
like
been.
ran
When he
some
was young.
serious stuff.
When he was young, but as he progressed and got older, he still stayed in the construction business. That way he could help the Irish gangs like hide bodies and
Right.
stuff like that, put them in cement.
And now he represents them
Put him in some-
on the cornhole boards.
Yeah. Now he just plays cornhole.
Oh, Eric Hobbit Jet said he's about to win a regional. That's not
Think about
surprising.
doing it.
Charlie Case takes 2nd, so that was a some Lucky's on Lucky's crime right there for the title. Josh Neville, who we talked about the other Nevilles and juniors earlier. Josh Neville, a lefty we watched throw from Haggard Bags. That dude impressed the crap out of me. I don't know how many of his matches you watched. He also had a very nice mustache. So as soon as I see somebody with a mustache, like I tuned in, I was like, dude, this is a good guy. He didn't even
This
throw
is
a
a
bag.
good
I
guy
already
'cause of the
knew.
mustache.
I already knew he was somebody for the people, you know? Because when you've got yourself and then another personality on your face, you become something that's better than just yourself.
All right, folks, we're putting up a freaking poll tomorrow on Facebook what we should name Dylan's mustache.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, 4th place, Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones awesome, makes the trip down from Alaska. Throws great, good dude, played some tight games. 5th place, Florentino Mendoza and Andre Lane tie. Chad Jackson takes 7th place, Bill. Charlie Case took 2nd. I don't know were you sleeping on that?
Yeah, I was thinking about your mustache, dude.
That's weird.
Craig saying I have a nice mustache also. Craig, you gotta get to
dude.
Dylan's level.
Craig,
man.
your mustache is freaking awesome.
Craig, you and I are teaming up in the blind draw. It's gonna be you and me. We're taking it down
Frank,
tomorrow
it's
night.
me and you. Team stash. Stashes for the win, baby.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
who's a bearded brother that
Folks,
I can win with?
I want to say
tomorrow?
something real quick. CBC is donating a set of bags to every player that takes a top 3 tomorrow at the pre-party. If myself or Bill win, and I'm speaking for Bill, we
let's
will
go.
give our set to somebody else.
100%.
I
The
just
top
wanna state
3
that.
teams, both players on the top 3
Get a
teams.
set.
There's 6 sets out there, so yeah, and it's more of a commemorative set. I mean, they will play. They are our fill. They are our bags, but they're all Phoenixes, and
Yep.
it just says, "Hey, Clarksville pre-party." It's got our sponsors on there and stuff like that. So it is. They're very, very cool sets.
No, they're awesome. They're awesome. What did Craig say? Craig gave me some hearts. It's gonna be me and Craig. If I can rig it, I'll talk to the director tomorrow.
Craig,
We'll
if
make
it's
it
you and
happen.
Dylan, I'm giving Daryl making my spot, regardless if he messages me or even shows up. I'm gonna leave. If it's you two.
Oh, Hoppy's you and him, bearded legends. Hop, do you have any hair on the side of your face or your chin?
Hoppy, I don't remember your beard, man. If I don't remember your beard, it's not. You don't have this flow.
Dude, I don't think he has any. All right, let's get into Passion Pick real quick. Phil had Karsten Morris. That's who he ended up taking. Was Karsten Morris?
Okay, see your K.
Okay. So I'm looking for all of our picks. Bill. Frank Years didn't make the main bracket. It doesn't look like Bill. Rick Hoaxang takes 25th, so that's no points. Oh, Karsten Morris won Tier 2 doubles, so he didn't make the main bracket either. But a good showing. To win Tier 2 is no joke, right?
Okay.
It's no joke. But that's what happened there. No points
Whoa.
in Passion. Bill, what do you got going
Whoa.
on? You're showing the people the files, dude.
Wait, do I? Oh, I gotta hit back.
That would work.
This is supposed to lock it in, dude.
Okay, hit Control S instead.
Oh my gosh.
All right, folks. That is...
Oh wait, okay.
What happened?
I already showed the new picks. People have already seen it. They're leaving now. They know we didn't pick them, or they know we did. They're gone.
Oh, but hey, Medford was awesome, dude. And what we wanted to talk about was Haggard Bags, because if you folks went out there and followed the tournament, Haggard Bags had somewhere between 14 and 18 teams in the quad bag masters.
Right.
We've never seen it before. Never seen anything like it.
It was crazy.
Why is Hoppy
Haggard
texting me,
bags
dude?
out
Hoppy,
there.
no texting.
Absolutely crazy.
Oh, he does have he's got some shadow going on.
Hoppy, I think I could rub a little milk on that. My cat would lick it right
Folks,
off.
don't
for
worry
you.
about his hair. The hair is terrible. The beard is...
Actually, Hoppy, you know what?
It's all right.
Let's do it. We're gonna whoop
It's
these
all right.
two, dude. I'll play a dirty
Oh
game.
my
Dylan won't be
gosh.
able to do anything. He's gonna try to throw airmails. They'll be off. As long as he's not having fun, his airmails are absolutely garbage. It's wonderful.
No, that's not true. I'll throw under the leg airmails. Don't even get me started. Don't even.
What happened this week?
With what?
I took number 1. You took
You
number 2.
threw a 7. I carried a 5.
No, it was very little bit over a 7. Very dirty
Folks,
game.
hey, I'm gonna take
Very
the high
dirty
road
game.
here, folks, and I'm going to not speak about this ever again. And if Bill sees me and he doesn't play on my side, I will kick him.
No, you
I will
play on
resort-
my side. Wait. This is something we got to talk about. I was in the king seat. Why do I have to make the
No.
choice to go to the side
We'll
that
talk
you were
about
just
this on
throwing the
Family
last
Feud,
3
Bill.
games at?
Bill.
I choose the side and you follow me. I'm king seat. You're not.
We'll talk about
Remember,
on Family
you said
Feud.
you lost the first game.
We'll bring it up.
Okay.
We'll bring it up.
All right,
yeah.
let's go.
Haggard Bags, where I wanted to talk about 18 teams or something like that in quads. I talked to the owner of Haggard Bags last night. We spoke for an hour and 17 minutes.
That's
We
freaking
talked
cool.
shop. We
Yeah.
talked bags. We talked West Coast ACO. We talked Spencer McKenzie's. We talked Phil. We talked corner radiuses.
Yeah.
We talked California. Like, I'm from Northern California originally. his kid is fixing an ATV while we're on the phone. And I'm like, dude, I rode dirt bikes like my whole childhood. And he's like, you ever been to, like, I was like, we used to go to Hollister Hills. He goes, dude, I love Hollister Hills. Like, we're just over there, dude. Me and this
You
guy,
didn't
Wes.
even tell me all this
Wes
morning.
Roebuck is his name, folks, and that's Haggard Bags. And they've got a lot of players. Denise Rosen and her husband, they call themselves the Empty Nesters. They're retired. They just travel and play cornhole. Josh Neville, the whole Neville family. The Morris boys. Philip Swanson, who's in the chat right now.
Let's
Tara
go.
Rude. So these people, man, really showed out in Oregon, and they're trying to do something special on the West Coast and grow the sport. So for me to have a conversation with Wes and talk about growing the sport out there, and he's like, you guys got to come out to this. And he's hooking me up with, like, you got to talk to this club to get your bags out here and do this. Like, we had an awesome bag partner to bag partner conversation about growing the sport and no competition involved, loving what each other's doing. And it was just a cool conversation. So I wanted to give them a shout out and credit due to put, there's 120 people in Medford, and probably half of them or more were a Haggard Bag team member, which means that
all
he put in the work.
They got
to
some
get them
Haggard
up there.
Bag pride, dude. I'll tell you that, because when you were, what were you calling them last night? Like, what? I know they throw Haggard Bags, but you were calling them a specific name. It was
Well, they go by like Haggard AF.
Haggard. Okay, Haggard.
Like
AF,
that's like their team
okay,
name, and he's
yeah.
like, dude, our team, we got people who throw fours, but they're loud and they're having a good freaking time, and they love cornhole. And he's like, that's our
awesome.
team, dude. We got the loudest booth, we got the loudest people. We're just out there crushing it.
I was supposed to be on that call. We worked so late.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, getting up at 6 a.m. and then working all day, coming here making bags and working so much that Dylan's like, dude, I'm gonna call him on the way home. Sorry, you can't be on the call. So I didn't get to enjoy all the fun.
No, I didn't. I called him on the way home. He didn't answer. He called me back at like, I don't know, 7. He about kept me up past my bedtime, folks, of like 8:30, just because we're talking cornhole,
Where's the
man.
guy at? Let's
Oh,
get
here we
some
go.
swing oil flowing over here, folks. We're about to get into some.
All right, we're about to get
family
into
feud
Clarksville
here.
picks first.
Yeah. Whoa, Clarksville picks first.
Yeah, lock those in, Bill. But yeah, that's Haggard Bags, folks.
Craig, you couldn't be more accurate in that statement.
What do you say?
Nothing. He's just talking in chat.
Yeah, right, dude. Bill throws.
Dude,
Bill
you're
throws,
gonna get Dylan
Bill
so
throws-
fired up. It's not even funny.
Bill throws about 16 times more bags than me per week, and I'll freaking put it on his forehead tonight.
We're gonna go live after the stream in the dark. Nobody will be able to see it, but I'll win.
Oh man. Okay. Hey, Clarksville. It's freaking stacked, folks. I'm not going through every player, but these divisions are loaded down. The tournament is maxed out. If anybody's done the math, 308 singles players. That's how many players got tickets. I bet you could have sold another 50 to 100
Yeah, I bet 100.
tickets
I bet
for
100.
this major. But folks, the boards are 4 roses. Joey, let's go. The small bottle, of course.
The
And,
small body, yeah, the handle.
Yeah, and so the boards are going to be tight, folks. If you want to warm up, you better get there when doors open. I'm letting you know. If you show up later than that,
Yeah, you're not gonna be
you're
able to
mad
warm up.
that you can't
Not
warm
gonna be able
up,
to.
that is your fault. And
Very
just like
true.
it's your fault if you didn't get tickets, all right?
That's very true. Also.
Hey.
Hey, dude, you got him fired up, Craig, because he's usually a little reserved. Now he's blaming everybody. He's attacking right now. You got him into attack mode, Craig,
Yeah.
just because of that comment right
No,
there.
it's because Craig's we're mustache brothers.
I may have
We're
poked it.
mustache men.
I may have poked it a little bit with that winner circle. A little, we put that
You
together.
know what, folks? You know what it was. That's all fine and dandy. But over here, where you see where that thing drops down, it says Bill Slam, like he was slamming me. I don't like that.
It does say Bill Slam.
I don't
but
like that.
Derek named it Bill Slam when he created it.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, let's go.
All right,
Women's, Martina Belt, me, Phil, both picked Martina. We looked at the field. I wanted to pick Megan also because I saw that game last night. I really wanted to pick Megan, but Dylan and I don't match up. It's got to be a very rare instance for us to be able to match up, and he picked Megan first, which is why I got Martina. I think either of these ladies could win this. There are a few more in the field.
Josephina Ernsberger's in there. Kennedy Meineke is in there. Carson Thomas is in there, who's made some runs. There's a few other notables that are just slipping my mind right now. But Megan is on another level these last couple weeks, folks. She obviously throws CBC. We're seeing her stats on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And even Chase Bucket today texted me, goes, dude, she's throwing gas. And she switched. She went from Phoenix to the Carbons, which are a tad slower on the slow side. And she is throwing slow side. She's making it do
The bag's
some
working
things,
for
dude.
her.
It
Yeah,
really
the
is.
bag's definitely working for her.
Somebody in the chat last night that was watching the match, they're like, dude, those things are whole magnets. Like, what are those?
Guess
You
who's
know?
throwing next week in Dalton?
Are we going to go over that right now?
No, we won't. We'll do that next week. All right. Seniors.
Stacked field again, but Bill, I like your pick, Mick. I mean,
Mick
he's just
Hosang,
on
dude. Solid.
fire. He's on fire. Phil took Daryl, and I already wanted to take Daryl before I even saw Phil's picks. I like Daryl a lot. Daryl makes
Daryl's here.
Every single thing that he goes to, you see a Daryl live stream in the finals, whether it's against Johnny Thomas, whether it's against Tyler Goodwin, whether it's against somebody. Daryl makes his way into a podium,
right?
You know, and he's just one of those guys. He's a fighter. He's a straight down the middle guy, but does a really good job. One of his best shots is that step out, get around, and usually it works left to right. It's like a reverse cut ish is how it operates. Dude, he is the best at that shot. I will put that on record that get around shot from left to right, he's the best at it.
Yeah, don't call it a get around, reverse cut.
But it doesn't reverse cut because he doesn't put the extra tilt on it. Like he just steps out and gets it a little bit flatter. Yeah, and makes sure the corner grabs and then it grabs the back and almost toilet bowls into the hole. It's nasty.
He's good at that. He's definitely good at that. With his injured chicken wing throw.
Yeah,
very odd
barrel, dude.
Don't know what it is, but yeah, it is monkeys in a barrel. I think I like that better. All right, and then juniors, Lane Cruz, I got him. I was the he threw so well last in Knoxville anyway in singles. Right, I mean he was just killing people. I think he lost to Nate Stevens at the very end there.
Yeah.
But man, he was throwing so good. I had to pick him for juniors here. I think he's gonna tear it up.
Yeah, I've got Mason. Mason's proven to do well in juniors all the time. And then Phillip has Isaac hurt, you know, and Isaac's a great pick. Isaac just seems to either, I don't know what happens in juniors for him, but he hasn't had all of the wins in juniors like we saw last season.
Yeah.
And the juniors are all good. A ton of them can win. You also have Parker Burgett in this field, who he's going to take a top 5 almost guaranteed, but could also be in the running top 3 or win the entire thing. If you guys saw Devin Thompson on the roll call, he's not going to make it. I'm just letting you know right now, the Beaver's not there. We love Beaver, but he's not going to be there.
We definitely love Beaver. Like he's awesome.
Stop.
What are you talking about? No.
You know what you're doing.
Dude, what are you talking about? Beaver's a good guy. We love Beaver. He can't make it because he was one of the few that didn't get a singles ticket, right?
Yeah, he is.
He procrastinated. It looks like he signed up for juniors, but didn't go out and buy the ticket at the same time for singles. So
yeah, he waited too long and just didn't really have the razor thin edge on getting a ticket.
There'll be no Beaver in Clarksville.
No Beaver. And well, I mean, yeah. Bryce is in the field. I did message Brock to see, folks, if he's gonna show up.
Oh Jesus!
Late or not?
I gotta lay off that stuff. We're switching.
Brock's not gonna be there. So if Brock shows up, he is my pick.
He's not going to be there for juniors.
If he does, he is my pick.
Wait, he's signed up.
No, he's not.
For the pre-party.
He is signed up for the pre-party, but that's
Daryl.
because he's gonna travel down, come to the. I don't know. I'll talk to him.
Okay, all right, Daryl. That might be your shoe-in right there.
Mark Smothers is a great pick for seniors. He 100% is, and there's a couple others like Rick's gonna be there. Folks. I just don't want to go through the roll calls because we'll be here for 3 hours. That's the problem. So we'll go through the roll calls when people place and how things go next week. That's kind of what we've been doing. That's just it works for us.
That's good.
Co-ed folks. Phil's taken the tried and true Martina Belt and Russell Tabers, but what I really like about Bill's pick is he's got Craig and Ashley who have beat Russell and Martina at least once, if not 2 or 3 times this season alone. So I really like that pick because as long as Craig and Ashley weather the storm in their early matches, when they get deep in, they beat most of these teams.
Get locked.
They get locked in. Yeah. As soon as they lock in, they are the best team in the world in co-ed. I really believe that. Chase and Megan, that's my pick. Megan has been throwing outside of this world lately. Chase is just as consistent as he always is. So if Megan shows up, and I think they're going to settle on the carbons together. I haven't even talked about this.
I like that.
I really do too. I like it for Chase. I like it for Megan.
Yep. And, or a little bit slower, a little bit slower bag. And if it's working that well for Megan, that I think that's going to be a super solid pick.
Noah Dennis in the chat. Didn't even mention Noah Dennis. Like I said, if I don't look at the roll call, I know there's a ton of names on there. Noah, loved watching Noah throw in Knoxville, dude.
Especially in Knoxville, dude.
Especially the Isaac Hurt match, dude. That thing was an all-time classic. 2 backside airmails for 2 points, which pretty much won the game for him. I mean, Ice in his veins, backside
they were
airmails.
pretty disgusting.
No hesitation, dude. I mean, rippers, dude. It was me and Bill were about falling out of our chairs.
We're gonna have the Knoxville Shot Show coming out here soon.
Yeah.
We've been so busy this week, haven't been able to do it, but we're gonna get it probably right after the Clarksville Major. I'll start working on it, and then we'll have it next week.
Next week or the week after, folks. Don't get your hopes up, all right? That's co-ed, folks. There's plenty of other teams here that can make a run. I know Deb Smith and Matt Gammon is one. Justine Smith is pairing up with somebody that I mentioned earlier. Now I completely forgot.
Bryce. Was it Bryce?
No, it's not Bryce. I forget who it is. But there's plenty of good teams out here, folks.
Yeah.
Co-ed's going to be a good time. That wraps up Friday. Moving into Saturday, doubles. Bill's got Bear Paw and Sebastian. I mean,
Bear
you
Paw
look
and
at these three teams, Bill. These three teams that we have picked here are probably, in my opinion, unprofessional, unbiased opinion, the top three power ranked doubles teams in the world right now. I don't think that there's any argument that these three teams aren't the top three teams in the nation. I mean, you could look around. There's some great teams. Zach here and Braden Easterling have made a run now. Johnny Thomas and Daryl Macon have an argument. But I think when you look at these three teams that we have on the board here, Gary Bear Paw, Sebastian Barger, Tyler Amos, Craig Irvin, Caleb Hurt, and Isaac Hurt, these are the top three power ranked teams in the world.
Caleb Hurt and Isaac Hurt, obviously, I mean, world champion in doubles 2 years in a row. Back to back. So they are definitely favored in this. We've matched up with Phil already. We like to pick, people that can beat them in some of these tournaments. You know what I mean? Taking Tyler Amos and Craig Irvin, the only thing that worries me about that specific pick is the bag speed, which is the exact same thing with my pick too. Right? Is because they both throw such different bags but when they come together, I mean, they can win.
But Craig doesn't
but
now. Craig throws slower bags now.
Craig has started throwing the slower bags. I've seen Craig, throw. We saw a roll in Knoxville from Craig. Never thought I'd see that. We
saw him in Owensboro roll like crazy. I mean, they beat the Hurts if I'm not right, or if I'm incorrect on center stage. At least one game, Owensboro on center court.
Okay, yeah.
I believe they won the first game, or it was really, really close. I mean,
that's the only thing that worries me about our picks is that they haven't decided, specifically, or, one person's still trying to work out the other person's bags and stuff like that. That's the only thing. Yeah. And I'm sorry. I got to be completely honest about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Caleb and Isaac Hurt, at the beginning of the year, it seemed like Isaac wasn't so comfortable with the bags either. You know what I mean? And now he's looking pretty freaking comfortable with those bags.
Great in Knoxville.
I'd love to see these three, the top three, for doubles in there. And, dude, I'll stream freaking all night if these three teams are the top three.
Because these will be the last matches on Saturday night will be doubles championships. I mean, we're running it till the end, folks. It's going to be late. But, hey, there's a lot of doubles teams out there, folks. There's like 160 or 150-something doubles teams, so we're not going to get it. I can't go through the list, folks, because I'll talk about 62 teams, guaranteed at least. But this is what we've got for the picks. I like a Coleman and Brock, man. I like that. Parker Burgess says Beaver and Tyson Packer in the top three teams.
Coleman and Brock solid too.
Beaver and Tyson top three teams. Parker, the stats aren't there. They have a third place in Knoxville. Fantastic stuff. They're great freaking players. Yeah. But when we're talking top three power rankings, you got to be serious. You got to have some finishes. You got to have some major wins. You got to have a history.
It's true.
And
it's true.
I'm not saying this team could not be there by the end of the season.
They
but what I'm saying is right now, power rankings right now,
yeah.
I would take these three teams.
I would too.
That's just where I'm at.
Right now, yeah.
Yep. Singles, absolutely loaded, folks. Like I said, 308 players, 66 pros, 242 people in the pool play. It is going to be a gauntlet. It is going to be 4 brackets. It is going to be deep into the tournament. Your doubles is going to get even later. And Isaac Hurt is Phil's pick. Right? He is moving away from Caleb.
Which is weird.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Why is he doing that?
2 4th places in a row for Caleb, right? Owensboro and Knoxville. I'm telling you, folks, we put up, CBC made a poll for the power rankings, right?
Right.
The top 5. CBC is an analytic statistical machine, folks. It really is.
It's not us choosing this. We have a whole algorithm. The algorithm, I mean, we wrote it on the wall one night. I'm a math guy. You know what I mean? We sat there, wrote the entire thing, made a couple adjustments to it, used AI just a little bit to help us out with that algorithm, and then plugged it into Excel, and it picked for us. We didn't do that.
Yeah. And then the 5 people that it picked, Caleb, Isaac, Tyler, Brock, and Oh, I'm blanking it up, Bill. There's another one.
Gonna have to go back and look.
No, it's okay. But those 4 and the 5th person, folks, have all won at least 3 brackets this year, and they're the only ones that have won at least 3 bracket majors this year. So on an analytical standpoint, a statistical standpoint, which CBC uses as a mechanical machine,
nobody will ever get that algorithm.
That's why it was the top 5. Great arguments for people like Craig Urban, Drew Waking,
100%.
Gary Bearpaw.
Yep.
All those, I would agree. I would
Johnny
agree
Thomas,
easily.
Johnny Thomas,
that's who
100%.
it was. That's who it was.
It was okay, yeah.
It was Johnny Thomas.
Yeah.
All those people have 3 bracket wins. That's why. Those were the 5 put in there originally. There are arguments for a ton of players, folks. But this is the power rankings based off statistics. You can have arguments for what's going on recently with Isaac, right? I think he got the most votes.
We only put up whatever the algorithm tells us.
Right.
That's all we do. I don't, there's no other way around it. So, all right, singles. Let's get to singles. Excuse me, you were talking about yours. I wanted to say something about my pick here, Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
I know he hasn't, taken down these bigger tournaments yet. Although, I've seen him throw. He's been talking about it. I said, hey, you're going to be my freaking pick tomorrow. Are you good to go? He said, yes, 100%. I got the lock. And I love that, dude. I love when people have that specific confidence about it. So I got Sebastian in this. And it was really between him and Bearpaw for the rest of this.
I wanted Bearpaw. And the only reason I got off of Bearpaw is because I haven't picked Brock yet. And Brock just always seems to prove us wrong. I don't think
Brock
we
has
picked
been,
Brock.
Yeah, Brock is.
I don't think anybody's picked Brock. It's like
the
he's
algorithm
a sleeper.
told us Brock.
Right, he's like a sleeper kind of, right? Like nobody really picks him when you look at these roll calls that are super deep, right?
Yeah.
Brock Beasley, okay, Brock Beasley's gonna make a run, but nobody picks him. The guy's won his bracket 3 times and a second. Like he's an animal, dude. He's taken a 2nd overall, a 3rd overall, and a 4th overall after those bracket wins. He's gotten better finishes as he moves forward. He's playing great,
Solid.
So we'll see. I want to see Craig throw well. Craig is somebody. He won his bracket in Knoxville, so we're like, let's go. And
Knoxville.
And there's no Craig's back. Craig is always freaking good.
Yeah, I know,
Craig is
exactly.
always good. But to see him win his bracket, it's like, there's my king of cornhole, right?
Yep,
There's my
there
season 17 king of cornhole. There's the guy
it.
with the crown, And it's like, I wanted to see that. I've been waiting on that to happen.
Yeah.
And Craig, he'll tell you himself, he's a man of second places. He'll tell you the year he won King of Cornhole, he never won a major. He had 3 or 4 second places, and then wins the biggest tournament of the year.
The biggest one.
And that's why, folks, if you're a good player, don't count yourself out because you haven't won a major or you don't have a top 3 or something like that. When we get to Worlds, folks, whoever shows up the last Saturday of July, that person, there's about 40 of them that could win the tournament, in my opinion.
Right.
Who is going to show up? Who is going to be that person, take the lights out of it, and just throw their very, very best? And there's a ton of names on that list. But I'm just saying, don't be discouraged if you haven't won a major, because what matters is July, the last weekend of July.
It is true. Look at Scotty Ball. How good, so there's hope. Scotty, man. Oh, you're good. I love you, Scotty. I love you.
All right,
passion picks real quick.
Let me see if I got one from Phil.
Nate
He
Stevens.
hasn't texted me.
If anybody hadn't seen Nate Stevens, he was in Knoxville. Super solid.
This is a cheater pick, folks.
Super solid.
Because
So
Bill
I
hasn't
picked him.
even met Nate Stevens, so
I
it's
have met
kind of
Nate
loose.
Stevens. I talked to him. We both walked by each other like, hey, what's up? And that was it. That's our story. But it was in Knoxville.
That's
it did
our
happen.
story. That's
It
our
did
story.
happen.
Feels like Taylor Swift. That's our story. We walked by each other. It was a head nod and a head down.
That's what it was.
That's our story, folks.
No big deal.
I've got Eric Hoppenjans.
I don't need to hear this
I've got
story.
too many
I know you
stories
got-
with
yeah.
this guy, dude.
Yeah.
We played great. Hoppenjans, man, was there when I got my first ever regional win about 2 years ago at Fire Dome Pizza. You weren't there, Bill.
I didn't even know you had a regional win. That's freaking okay. Hey,
Dude, it was a
Let's
stacked
go.
one, too. You can ask him. I beat Joey Persinger. I double-dipped Mike Harrison, the hog, when Mike was throwing freaking animalistic,
you did tell me
dude.
about that, yeah.
I mean, I went through a gauntlet, and you can ask Hoppy, dude. I've made this now the Dylan Show instead of the Hoppy Show, and but it was awesome. But Hoppy's my pick, dude, and we've seen Hoppy progress like crazy. Just playing him in cash games like side games in Owensboro or wherever we've seen him, Worlds or whatever.
It's still 8-5. Well, that game's over. I won that game. We're starting fresh in Clarksville.
Yeah, Craig Collahar, dude. Craig Craig was almost my pick too. I like Craig a lot, and Craig throws freaking good. Mr.
Yeah, he
TNT.
does.
But
I didn't know
dude,
Craig could throw so good until
Dude, no,
Knoxville.
Hoppy's my guy.
Knoxville.
He's a mailman, so I know he wears shorter shorts, so he's a man of the people as well. And
Okay, we're locking it in. I can't hear this anymore.
Because if I
We're
talk
just
about
hitting
Hop,
save.
folks, we'll be here for a hot minute because Hoppy's my guy. He's our guy.
Okay,
you know?
remind me to save that later.
I'm just saying, Bryce, who's sleeping on you, Bryce? There we go. Bryce is he's.
Bryce,
I don't know what he's saying.
Stamp that.
Bryce. Oh, dude, Hoppy's fired up. There it is.
You
Bill.
will score another point on me, Bill. Hoppy, I promise you I will score on you. I promise you.
All right, folks. We've got a little announcement here, folks. We are excited about it. We're
Very
excited
excited.
about it. This is a first-time thing for CBC.
Hopefully it's not up. I'm going to click on it.
It might be up, but let's see.
It's up. Okay.
So, folks, we got the live stream sponsored.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on.
We got a
actually
sponsor
got
for
a sponsor.
Clarksville. We got a sponsor. We
We did.
talked to Clarksville's third base just this week and told them, hey, this is what we can do for you. This is what we're asking from y'all. And they were immediately like, yes. This is a new sports bar in town, less than a year old. It's on the riverfront of the Cumberland River. It's probably 5 to 10 minutes from the venue, folks. We're hoping to go down there Friday night.
I think it's less than 10. I mean, it's on the river.
It's
the
less than
venue
10.
is
You
close
just
to
go
the river.
straight down, straight off downtown, and you're to it, you know? And they're doing $2 off appetizers on Friday and Saturday. Four
people,
cornhole players.
Yes, 4 cornhole players. If you go in there, say, I'm playing at the cornhole tournament, and I heard Bill and Dylan say that I get $2 off my appetizers. Order all freaking appetizers.
Yeah.
Order a bunch of beers. I honestly think Friday, if it's not too late, I'm going there.
No, we're gonna go.
Yeah. I'm in. If we're done streaming and stuff, I want to go there at least for dinner, hang out with those folks out there.
We're trying
drink
to
some
bring a
beers.
crowd down there, folks, because they have now instilled trust in us, and we'd like to show them some
Yeah.
support. So even if we don't go, folks, if you're looking for a sports bar to hang out, I've been there one time with my dad and some of the buddies from work. I remember, I think my dad had like 6 or 7 beers, and his tab was like $27. So the beers are cheap. You know,
it's not
they
bad.
got good deals in there. $2 off appetizers, like I said. They have live music up until 11 o'clock. They're open till 2 a.m. on the weekends. So they have patio like off the backside. So if the weather's good, you can sit out there.
If it's.
But I'm just saying, it's something new here in town. They are putting trust into us. We are super grateful
Very excited.
for the opportunity to.
I'd like to make this
represent
big.
them.
You know, I know it's the first year and stuff like that. I'd like to make this big, so next year, hopefully, it can be even bigger with these people. But we've been working on this. We're trying to message people in cities and stuff like that. Nobody messages you back when you're in a different city, especially for cornhole that they don't even know about and stuff like that. These guys have trust in us, so we got to do it, man.
Yeah, so if you
Friday
guys are
night,
looking
we're
for a
gonna be
spot,
there.
even if you come in late Thursday night or you leave the axe and you want to go have a beer and you look up this place.
Check 'em out.
There's going to be a lot of spots downtown, folks, and the downtown spots are fantastic, but they're going to be a little busy with the military town. I'm just going to let y'all know that right now.
true.
But this place is a little more low-key because it's new, and it's a little bit, 2 minutes outside the downtown. I mean, it's literally right outside of the downtown. But they're supporting us, folks, so if you support them, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let them know that we sent you, because that will help us in the future give
will.
more things to
100%.
you guys and give more things to the sport. So
Make
we're just
sure
really
you
excited
say
about
that
it.
you're cornholers when you walk in, or cornhole players.
Tell
What
them
are
you've
we
been
called?
cornholing.
You've been. Folks, this is a family show. This guy.
Oh, Bill, we didn't
needs
talk
to get
about
outta here.
your name for Ashley. Ashley, are you still in here? Ashley, give us a comment if you're still in here.
Ashley.
Oh, now you don't like it. Oh, now you don't want to talk about it. No, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. Ashley,
Moving on.
Ashley, pop in here real quick.
Everybody's been waiting for the family feud.
They-
Let's get there. Let's get there.
Ashley's in here. Just give us 1 second. Bill, would you like to say it, or would you like me to say what you typed in here for Ashley's name?
Craig, are you still in here?
So it was Craig Irvin at the top, and the bottom name is somebody. And usually we just put in Crashley for the Irvins.
Usually it's Crashley.
Bill put in Craig Irvin and what, Bill?
Smashly. I thought that was okay. He told me it was not okay.
Not okay.
I took it off. He said it's not a family show thing. I said Craig Irvin and Smashly. I did a little play on Crashley. My bad, Craig. We're still gonna win the blind draw.
You know
Let's
what you
go.
did. You know
Getting
what
into
you
the
did.
family feud.
Oh man, I'm telling you, this guy typed it in. I looked at it, I go, "That? Are you serious?"
Stamp that. I don't know what that means, Bryce.
Dude, I'm crying, Bill. I'm crying. All right. I would say let's get serious, folks, but it's Family Feud, man, and there are a couple topics here. A lot of drama in Cornhole this week. Well, really just a couple things going on, but they blew up pretty big, which we always like to see. We didn't get tagged in it, which is surprising. At this point, folks, we've been getting, if there's some drama that comes up, they just tag Cornslingers Bagco, they tag Dylan Arled, they tag Dylan Steffi Jace, dude, like whoever it is. And they want us just to look at it, and they want us to talk about it. And I got a couple messages every week, what we should talk about. But this one, when it comes fresh, we like to talk about it.
Yeah, 100%.
One thing that we wanted to discuss before we get into Family Feud, folks, if you have, we love hearing what's going on that's wrong in the sport, right? The people doing wrong things, right? Or tournament directors or tournaments run the wrong way or payouts or whatever your complaint is, we're completely okay with hearing it.
I like how you're leading into this. I really do.
Yeah, we love to hear about that stuff. What we will never do is personally attack a club, a CO, a player, an organization. It is not in our interest at all, folks, to attack anybody, because our goals here are to grow the sport. So by attacking anybody, it never looks good for the sport as a whole.
Drama creating more drama is not, it's just not good. It's not good math. You know what I mean? I love where he was going with that. We love to hear about these things. We love to be tagged into these things because there's always that larger question. There's always that larger topic that you can talk about. Yep. And this week, again, I'm not going to bash anybody. I'm not going to mention names. We're not going to go through it like that.
Harcrow.
But exactly. Harcrow. No.
This guy.
But we sat there and I read through literally every comment that was on this thing, and we thought, you know what? This is probably a pretty good topic. And I think the crux or the core of the situation was, are there too many COs? That's one topic. And then another topic is, what do you do if COs schedule for full regionals on top of each other? Is there an etiquette about it? Is there not? How is this from players' perspective? How is it from a CO's perspective? Dylan's been a CO before, or a co-CO.
Yeah.
So, he kind of is going to probably, hopefully have that perspective on it. And I'm going to have the players' perspective on it.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, I know that was brought up in those comments, is the radius not big enough for COs, which if you guys are unaware of this information, it'll be discussed as we go through these topics. But to start off with, your first question, Bill, was, are there too many COs, which will play into the radius of COs. Yeah. And folks, I'll answer it first. As a CO, you come in, you want to be the biggest, baddest club that makes the most money for yourself and your players and everything, right?
And when he says makes the most money for yourself, that means that CO is so good that they have to win. Because COs, I'm sorry, they don't make money.
No, there's not a lot of money being a CO at all. Unless you do it for years and years and pay the minimums and then do this and do that.
If you had a tournament every night with 100 people, you may make some money.
Right,
but having one a week, So
but I think, and I had that mindset coming in. My mindset's changed a lot since I was a CO on what I would do and things I would do differently. But I think it's great to have as many COs as possible, because what we know a CO does, or is supposed to do, is grow their club and grow their tournaments. What does that mean? It circles back to everything we talk about every single week, and it's growing the sport. And if you want to grow the sport, if you want new players, what do you have to do? You have to be kind. You have to love the sport. You have to be great to the players, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is something that more COs equals more of that, more of those type of emotions, right? So more COs equals more players. More players equals more money, folks. More money equals bigger payouts for you. And these are the complaints we get, are payouts, right? Payouts are the biggest complaint for everybody in the ACO. One of the biggest.
I don't think on a regional level.
No.
Or where the COs, there's many tournaments with 100% payout to grow a club, which I absolutely love. Although I believe that those COs need to get paid for their specific time, right? I 80% payout, 70% payout, right in that area I think is a sweet spot, especially if you have 50 people and it's 80% payout, right? That's $100 for being able to run it one night. I think that's probably pretty freaking solid.
Yeah.
For doing something like that anyway. But is that your CO hat that you're putting on, or your player hat?
Well, I would say not my original
If you were
CO
a
hat.
CO.
My original CO hat, right? Like if I was a CO now, I'd have a different perspective completely. But
Well,
I've
no,
also seen
that's the side that you're playing. So, like, you're a CO right now. Are you okay with 3 other COs popping up within 50 miles?
Right now, my perspective right now.
Right now,
Absolutely.
are you okay with? If
Absolutely.
you were a CO,
But you talked to me when I was a CO a year and a half ago, right? I would be unhappy with it because I want mine to be the biggest. I want to take the large share of the pie. This was my mindset then, and this is a lot of mindsets. And if you're saying you don't have this mindset, I'm telling you right now, 50% or more COs have this mindset. It's natural, folks. It's competitive. It's a sport. This is what it's going to be. But when you get past it, and if you look bigger picture, which this company has given me that bigger picture, right? It's given me so much insight into players and the larger portion of the organization and what needs to actually happen for people to make money in this sport or for it to grow. And it's never one club being large, right? It's never one CO doing better than the rest of them. It's never 5 COs doing better than everybody else. It's everybody helping everybody else out because that person has an intention to grow the sport, which you need to feed into because growing the sport grows your club, your CO, your area grows, and everything around it becomes better. So a year and a half ago, I am on the side of no, I'm angry, right? I'm unhappy with a bunch of COs in my area, and there's plenty of people that would agree with this. There's too many, right?
Right.
And now, with the perspective that I have now and everything that I've gone to and all the people that I've talked to and what our goals are for CBC, I'd love to see as many COs as possible because I think that puts more players into the game. And more players into the game equal all these problems that we have is solved with more players and more support.
Okay, I want to address that just for a minute. I think we're gonna kind of mesh these topics together here.
Okay.
And just to be clear, we're talking about how many COs, right? That is really the topic: is do we have too many COs or not?
Okay.
Right. There are people, Bob Heil, for instance, out in I don't even know where he lives, but I know he's talked about it numerous times. To where maybe you have to drive 2 hours to play a full regional or just a regional to get points.
Right.
That's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. There are other people that say COs should have a 100-mile radius protected area. 100-mile radius is crazy. What if you live in Chicago? You know, there should be 10 COs in Chicago. They're so dense with population.
I'm telling you right now,
like
folks, us right here in Clarksville, we're 92 miles away from Owensboro. Well, that's a fact, right? So that means that we could not have a club here, and anybody in Evansville or Owensboro also run regionals.
Right.
I mean, and with the amount of players that are in this area,
so,
that would
and
be
I want to get to that. I want to get to that, but it's just like there are people out there that have COs that are so far to be able to, you know, enjoy the ACO anyway, if they don't like other leagues and things like that, whatever it is, to be able to enjoy that and try to get those points. If you're always going to this club that's 2 hours away, let's say you go, you know, for just a normal regional and they have singles on that night, and you go 0-2 and leave. I mean, dude, that is a 4-hour drive to go 0-2. That's insane. So, you know, that is one extreme of it, right? The other extreme is, oh man, I could go to 6 different places and they're all going to have 5 people, right? That's the other extreme, is where it's so crazy that you can't get enough people to show up there to actually play, and you have so many choices. What do you like better?
No, I like more options.
Rather
options than no options or minimal options.
Meaning that the answer to this problem leans on the more COs are probably a little bit better.
Right, but then I think the argument becomes, what is the threshold? Right, like what is the... Right now the threshold is 50 miles. Right. That is the threshold. There is the 50-mile protection of a CO dealer.
I think that's, for where we're at, I think that's too far. I don't think that the 50 miles should be a protection, because 50 miles, if you're the, I don't know, New York CO, you have, it would be insane to talk about the amount of people that you have and nobody else can be a CO there. That would, I don't think that the mile radius is the best benchmark to be able to say, hey, COs could be there. Maybe population density, which means they have to have a statistician, working on their payroll to be able to. It gets expensive
CBC
when
AI
you get to
can do
things
it.
like that. Yeah, when you get to things like that, it gets very expensive. Although I don't think that is the benchmark. That's the benchmark that they chose.
Let's catch up on the comments if we can,
Okay.
real quick.
I'm sorry.
Because like we went from like one to another, and I just want to
Well, no,
go
we're
down.
still
You were
talking
good.
about how many COs.
Right. No, go down. I want to read Amber's comment.
Amber's comment was
Here's
good. I
Eric.
read it while you were
feel
talking.
that COs need to be forced to go through a training of sorts. I don't hate that. It just depends on what it is. There is a test.
I don't
There
hate
is a
that
test.
either.
Work with them COs and don't plan regionals on the same day. Give the players more places to play with an hour of everybody. Within an hour, I guess. Within an hour of everybody. Okay.
Don't play in regionals the same day. Okay, well, we'll talk about that one. I do want to talk about that one here in a minute.
Uh-oh. You went.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Dude, somebody commented. It went right to the bottom. No problem with multiple COs in a 50-mile radius. You have to help each other and work together.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna address
We'll
that
get
here
there,
in a
yeah.
minute. Bryce, stamp
Bryce,
that.
don't worry about
Stamp
me.
that.
Don't stop.
My perspective is being a CO is a lot of work that people don't realize. So when I'm running a regional, I have to set up boards and etc. 100%. Then I have 3 regionals within 2 hours of me. That does suck. Okay.
But all those other people are also putting in the same effort. Like, you guys have a common goal and a relatable thing you can talk about and bounce off of each other. And as long as the regionals aren't on the same exact day that you're doing, especially your weeklies, then that's good because your players can move around and like their players. Because when you're playing, I think as a club, right? Let's say you're the club, and then 27 miles away, there's a new club that comes up, right? But their tournaments are 2 days after your tournaments. So now you're like, hey, you're the right CO. You're the high road CO, right? And you go play in their tournament. Go support them, right? Guess what happens? You send your players over there. This person is now stoked that they've gotten 15 new players at their tournament. What do they do with their players? They go, hey, that club or all the players you sent have spoken, and they go, now they send their players to your stuff. And I think that it's able to work hand in hand.
That would be the most ideal situation, is what Dylan's talking about. And that is, as far as, DJ was talking about earlier and stuff, COs working together. And Amber was also talking about COs working together, not scheduling regionals on the same day. That's as far as I would think that COs would kind of work together on something like that.
Yeah.
But there's a point that you're really not addressing with this.
Okay.
And that is, so Ashley, what I would say to this is, do you have fun nights as a CO? Do you guys have a couple different nights scheduled and some nights that are just like, hey, this is just fun? Any new player coming into the game, we have Sankin and Drankin. That is a night that, regardless of how you throw, regardless of if you're terrible or if you're great or you're a backyard champion or you're the absolute best in the freaking world, it brings in new players.
Yeah, we've gotten a ton of new players in Sankin and Drankin.
That is the most important thing that, and trust me, I know when you put on that CO hat, you're ACO. You are a CO for the specific ACO. But if you want new players and you're worried about people running regionals within 2 hours, you need to grow that specific club. And how do you do? You do it with a Sankin and you do it with something, because there are many COs right now that are out there, and I'm not calling you one of these. I have no idea the tournaments that you run and stuff, but there are many out there right now that say, hey, I'm running an ACO regional. I put it on Cornhole. Every ACO player come to mind, when it should not be that. It should be, hey, how do we get these backyard champions to start in the game and then maybe join the ACO 2 months later?
Because how many?
And that is that one night that no matter how bad you are at the game, you could play with the king of frickin' cornhole, Craig Irvin. You know what I mean? And he's not going to get mad at you. It's fun. We're all drinking, having a good time. And that's what gets these. If they have that much competitive spirit in themselves, they're going to show up again. Yep. They're going to freaking play every time.
And they've had a good time.
And when you're sending your players to that club 2 hours away, number one, those players aren't going to go to that club yet. Maybe in a few months and they get some experience under the belt, they will. Or they're going to stay in your club for a few years. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what is going to grow your local area. They're going to be like, okay, I'll try one of these ACO ones. But most people are very intimidated about that initially. And
especially singles.
That one fun night is what, here anyway, we have going for us. You guys are going to show up to this pre-party, and it's on a Thursday.
It's the sinking and drinking crew.
Right. But there's going to be so many people there that if they're locals, you're going to be like, oh, I've never seen you before in my life. And it's because they want a chance to play with the best. And that's why they're showing up. It is wonderful that they're going to do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of our guys got some of those slots, which is awesome. You may draw a partner that throws a 4. You may, and it's wonderful to have them there. Please don't get mad at them. We're developing this club. It's wonderful.
Yeah. It's the pre-party. It's a good time at Sinking and Drinking. I wanted to read AT's comment. He said, CO should be held to a higher standard. As a player, that is who we go to for rules and guidance. And I think we've spoke to this before, and we agree. The thing is when more COs come along, then you're going to have to hire new positions that are conference directors that are able to monitor these type of things, right? I mean, we know that, why am I blanking the name on who runs COs? What for the ACO? It's one person, folks.
I've never been a CO.
I know who it is. I just can't remember the name right now.
Somebody's gonna pop it in chat. You want me to miss all these comments?
No. But what I'm saying is that one person has oversight of all those things, and that is becoming impossible to have oversight on every single little tiny thing that happens in a regional, and some things are slipping through. I'm not saying that should happen ever. I think that everybody should have the utmost integrity and do what's best for the sport at all times, and that's most likely almost all of the time, besides crazy circumstances, is following the rules. The rules are laid out in the book. They're good to go. But I agree. I just wanted to say that I agreed with that. But it is a hard thing to do when one person has oversight over hundreds of COs.
Yeah, very tough.
Yep.
Very tough to be able to do anything. Nobody listens to Bob.
That's Miles. Don't worry about Miles.
Miles,
what up, dude?
What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about?
Where are we at here, Bill?
I don't know. I just lost everything. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Guys. Right here. Go down. You're good. We're caught up here. There's West Roebuck, Hagerback. What's up, brother?
We got Russellville, Kentucky, where I live. If I become the CEO of Russellville instead of Clarksville, I would be within 45 minutes of 10 COs.
45 miles. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, miles of 10 COs. Yeah, that's a lot. Although Russellville needs a CO, and it needs a fun night to be able to freaking play to develop those new players. I'm telling you, I will never stop talking about that. There are many COs that run ACO. People are intimidated by that. Have a fun night. Just have one night that is fun a week, that's consistent, that new player. You may not get new players for a month. You may not for 2 months. Word is going to travel. You will get those new players. I promise you. And when you get those guys, they're going to be like, oh, well, what's Monday night about? What's Wednesday night about?
Right.
Oh, well, those are our ACO regionals. But number one, they're going to sign up under your link. And if you're a CO, you get a small benefit for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it's going to grow the sport. Number three, those other COs that aren't doing it, you are actually going to be providing people to go to those locations too. And I know not all COs can do it because the population density in certain areas isn't as much in other ones. But this is... I believe if you're a CO, you should be trying to develop the sport. Right? I mean, that's 100%.
And I mean, like AT Cleaner says, decided by state, and that's where we're talking about. We get to the per capita thing. Now you have to count cornhole players in each state, and then what? You get X amount of COs per player or something. Like, is it 1 CO per 30 players in a county? Right? I mean, this is a hard thing to manage, guys. And I'm really on the side of the more COs, the better, as long as they're qualified. You know, I mean, this also comes down to that, to where there's people that are COs that aren't exactly qualified. They're signing up, they're paying, they're running tournaments, and it's okay that they don't know everything, you know, but they're not reaching out for help, and some things are ran a little odd. I've been to a few of them in the last 2 years. It's gotten better in the last couple of years. People are learning, and they're getting really good, but that's where we need to reach out and be better. But I don't think that limiting COs, folks, ever helps us grow the sport or push the sport in a positive direction. I think it just empowers the people that are already COs, right, in a negative manner, to where now no new things are allowed in, which now make it a weird type of tyrannical government situation.
If COs are relying on other clubs to provide them players for the points regionals and stuff like that, I honestly think people that, I don't want to say own clubs, people that have started clubs or the leader of that club, I think that's probably more appropriate for it. I think those people are phenomenal candidates to be those COs.
Right.
Because they've already showed an interest in cornhole just to be able to start a club.
Yep.
Now, if you have somebody that has started a club and a CO within that 50 miles, that now your club is getting so good, you know what I mean? And you're turning new people. You're trying to get the new people into the sport and stuff like that, that those people are going to that new CO to play. That's a one-way good.
Right.
That's not a two-way good, in my opinion.
It has
It's not.
to be two-way.
And
100%.
that's where it. To me, anyway, if you're not doing those extra things for it, I would start because, again, I just have to go back to our example, and that's why I'm a little bit biased about this specific situation, is that we have that Sankin and Draken, and thank God to Colton Gibbs, right? I mean, we're just going to bring that up.
It earlier.
Thank God to Colton Gibbs that he started this little portion of our club.
There was 8 people, folks, every Friday for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks straight. It was like somewhere between 6 and like 14 to 12 players every week, and nobody cared.
59.
59
last week. It's just, it's insane. So many new people, and they love it. And it's not one of those intimidating. Oh wait, this is for ranked players only. This is for, and they leave. It's so good for the sport that people need to do it more.
I wanted to talk about what Randy said here. Pre-registration required would be great, folks. If you have the ability to pre-register for every tournament you're going to go to throughout the week. It helps your COs manage what they have going on. And as Ashley spoke to earlier, the time and effort put into running these tournaments and stuff like that, it could be stressful
100%.
if people haven't pre-registered and you're at 4. You have to have 7 for singles, and it's 4 hours before the tournament. And you don't want to cancel it because you're like,
but
there's usually 3 or 4 people that show up.
You also don't want to give up your day. So you'll see sometimes, hey, I'm canceling the tournament if there's not at least this many pre-register, whatever. And I've seen that numerous times, and it sucks because we all know that there's people that show up last minute, and that
but they can still pre-register. So, folks, if you have the opportunity to pre-register, do it. Don't be that player who's like, I don't pre-register because I don't want people to know I'm coming because I'm a good player, and then they won't come. Leave that alone. If that's the case, that person will get better, and then they'll start showing up. You're just gonna have to let that be what it is.
Let's go to Scotty Ball real quick.
Yeah, it's a long one. Scotty's long-winded.
Oh my gosh, Scotty, dude, TLDR, bro, skip it.
Yeah, we can't do that.
No, Scotty, I want to read it. I'm gonna read it later. He's
just saying venues are tight, dates are tight. Personally, he doesn't care if they're scheduled on top of each other. CO shouldn't do shady things against the rules. Not doing anything about it, and it's unprofessional. It makes the league look weak. I get that. Been playing the sport for 2 years, and 2 COs from my area have done shady things. No repercussions have happened. Well, you don't know if no repercussions have happened, right? We don't know that for sure. Continue to get points, and it's a bad look on the whole league and the individual being. We'll get to that.
Individual lying.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Scotty, we agree that it's hard to book venues. We will get to that topic 100%. Booker, I got one regional less than 1 hour and 30 minutes in any direction from my house, and it's still 1 hour and 5 minutes. All y'all be quiet. So Booker even has to travel a ways,
that's
and he's
so
here.
tough, man. Because I mean, you guys know how it is chasing freaking points, man. You got to play at least 1 to 2 regionals per the week, and then that big regional on a weekend or a major.
Yeah. Jaime Jen says sometimes when people get caught doing the wrong thing, it seems like the ACO allows them to keep doing things. Folks, we don't know if they're getting some sort of written reprimand that, hey, you can't do this anymore. If things are occurring, the same exact issue more than once and it's not being fixed, I would agree to be up in arms with it. But if it's happening onesies and twosies,
I would assume that it's on not an honor base whatsoever. If somebody reports them, I would assume it's okay, don't do this again. And if they don't do it again, that's fine. But if a different infraction, we'll call it, happens, maybe that's, and also don't do this again. They don't, the ACO doesn't want to lose COs just as much as the COs don't want to be kicked out of the ACO. So I believe it's probably something like that.
Yeah, and this is Miggy. Miggy's been around for about 5 years, 6 years now, and he says he honestly believes COs should work together. He says he talks to Russell, all the time about making sure that tournaments don't overlap. And we did as well, myself and my co-CO. When we had something, we talked to Russell.
You were the co-CO.
We talked to Chuck. Yeah. Well, we were both co-COs.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Don't start, Bill. Don't. And I talked to almost everybody within about 60 or 70 miles to try to get their dates as best as possible so that we didn't overlap. And Miguel's saying he's doing the same thing. But he did say, what did he say here?
It says
too
as
many
much
COs.
as possible not to overlap, which still leaves a little bit of it. And we're going to talk about
COs
that
in the
here
same
in a minute.
areas, that affects the ones that have been here for years. No disrespect to anybody in my area. I'm just saying I think Clarksville will come a long way. It's been a big battle, but we've come a long way, and we are trying to grow the sport of cornhole here.
Love it, Miggy.
Absolutely,
Love it,
Miguel. Oh, gosh, we skipped to the bottom again.
I think you're right here.
Area director.
Wait, what's this one up here?
Oh.
Craig
We're not worried
talking
that.
about a different topic.
Yeah, CO should go by the same standard. I mean, absolutely. Hop and Jans charge them $1,000 for the option to give up their CO status, ban them. So Booker's over here. He's giving them the chop to the neck. If you do something wrong, you know what I mean? $1,000.
Oh, so
Yeah.
okay. Either $1,000 or you're no longer a CO if you have a
Right.
specific infraction. There's, I don't know, $1,000 if that's too much. Although I think I kind of like that idea. I think there could be something for that, and I do like it. If you maybe lose your, I don't want to say license or anything like that, but if you lose something for a couple months, this and that, or have a suspension or a probationary period or whatever, maybe I actually kind of like that. I think that's a good.
Yeah, the $1,000 might be a little much, but I think everything else, like a written reprimand.
I wouldn't want to hit those people monetarily because most COs aren't super rich. They're doing this because they love this sport. Most of them, so that's
COs,
just one of those things.
Yeah, Ashley says maybe that as COs, we're supposed to be representing the ACO. There should be something very dramatic, and she's talking about in the ways of speaking. Amber Fretwell, who deals with player relations of the ACO. I know nobody wants to call out other COs for cheating, since they can't watch every COs there is. You can always email the CO email and say, hey, can you check on the CO? They may be cheating, or have proof that they are cheating.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I hope there's no animosity towards people that are trying to do the right thing in the sport, right? If you 100%. Know something that is going on, but I will be a firm believer of address that person, that CO first, right? I mean, I'm a firm believer in squashing that thing right there, instead of trying to go behind the back, which I'm not saying you're not wrong to do that. You're not, right? I mean, if somebody's violating the rules and you don't feel comfortable approaching them in a direct approach, right, then taking the indirect route and going
sometimes
to the
you have to take that indirect route.
Well, yeah, maybe the person, you're afraid of the person, right? Or you don't have good communication with the person, or maybe you're not a good communicator.
Or that you did take that direct route, and then you have to take the direct route after because the direct route was a brick wall.
Right,
like that could happen.
Sure, I think we're saying like if you before you get there, like when you have a choice, right? Go direct route, speak to the CO. Hey, Bill, you did this wrong last week. Can you please not do that again? And Bill can either respond with, screw you, I'm gonna keep doing whatever I want. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. Or he can go, you know what? You're right. I should fix that. The thing gets fixed. It's done, and nobody has to be turned in. Or we talked about the fine and the probation and stuff like that. But if I'm not comfortable talking to Bill, I'm scared of Bill. I'm intimidated by Bill, not because of the way he throws, obviously, but just as a CO.
I would just say last week he was very intimidated.
Yeah, from across the board. And
by the throw, by the score. What was it, 21-0?
But you might have to go in. No, it was not 21-0.
I thought it was. I'm sorry. I must have.
You have Alzheimer's. And but you might have to take the indirect route. You know what I mean? And if that's the way you feel comfortable, I'm completely okay with it. But I would like to try for people to try to use the direct route, because you could also build a relationship with that person by doing that. Hopefully that person is just like, can take accountability for their actions, move forward doing the right thing. That's what I would hope for. Yeah. It's not always going to happen, folks. We aren't perfect. We're going to make mistakes. People are going to continue to make mistakes. It's going to be what it's going to be.
Look at Shannon Roberts.
Also, what up, Nigel?
Nigel Watson, yeah. What up, dude? New Zealand, let's go.
It's Walton. You said his name wrong for a year and a half.
I said Watson. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. Shannon Roberts, let's read this one, though. If a player can get kicked out for cheating, the same should happen to a CO, right? I believe, and let's talk about this for a minute. I believe that players, number one, cheating. I don't know how that would be possible unless like you rubbed like oil on the bags, or your bags were lighter,
PPR.
too heavy, the wrong PPR, things like that, which is 100% cheating. I honestly don't think a first infraction, second, or maybe even third would kick somebody out of it. If you go read the rules on the ACO, specifically about players and cheating and maybe, flipping bags or doing the distracting things and stuff like that, number one, it takes somebody to call them out first.
Right.
Number two, it takes at least one and then a second infraction before anything happens in that specific game, and then a third strike if they're actually just forfeit that game. It does not mean that they're kicked out of the ACO whatsoever.
I want to speak to something real quick on this.
Okay.
The difference in a player being kicked out or suspended or banned for the rest of the year compared to CO, Shannon, is the effect on the sport and the players is my problem with it, right? One player directly cheating, getting kicked out affects one player, right? When a CO does one thing that is incorrect, and let's say it's terrible. Let's say it's cheating.
Okay, yeah.
It's entering a full regional with me, Bill, and 5 CBC players. I put them in there 7 singles. We never run a tournament. I give points out multiple times a year so that multiple players max out. But let's say it happens just one time, right? And I'm caught for it. I'm turned in. What that does, if I'm a CO for a decent-sized club and I'm kicked out, we are 30 players out of playing in the ACO now, right? In that area. Now they have to find a new location. If you're talking to somebody like Bob Heil, if his guy 2 hours away gets kicked out for like something like entering false points for one division one day, right? Now he's done. He's done deal. Like for the rest of the season, he's done. Now, does Bob have to travel for everybody else that comes that huge distance to make that one regional? Because now we're hurting the players more than we're hurting the CO. And this is just a point I wanted to make on that, right? That there's a difference in kicking out a player and a CO because of the effect to the sport.
And I honestly, that is it's like a pragmatic conversation to have about like, how bad can a player cheat to be able to be kicked out of the actual game, right?
Right.
If we just apply this to other pro sports and we were to talk about like UFC, John Bones Jones, man, that dude's been having PED, performance enhancing drugs every freaking time he I think, right?
Not every time, but he's been popped, I think, 3 times. TJ Dillashaw's been popped 1 time,
right.
and they get a suspension.
Allowed in, and they're still allowed to play
though.
For the belt. Like they come back and
they
play
get a
for
suspension
like
usually, right? And then they have to have 6 months of dope testing, right? And like there's rules in place for all this stuff.
There are things in place where these people are allowed back. So I honestly believe that the ACO has a 3-strike rule on a lot of these things. As we read through, I don't know. I read them line by line. I read all the rules, and it seems like that there's a 3-strike rule, not just for the ACO, but for that specific tournament.
Right.
Although, being pragmatic about it, if they cheated it somehow in, I don't know how you could do it, but maybe fix your bags with magnets in the hole. We'll just say something off the wall and crazy. If they got caught doing that, I think that player should be absolutely done at that 100% at that tournament. Could never happen again. I think that player's bags need to be checked before every game that player plays. If they were to come back and play anymore.
Nobody look at Bear Paw's bags.
But do we kick them out and no longer cornhole in the ACO? For what level of cheating is kind of that issue?
Right,
you know what I mean?
See things like, the extreme is Pete Rose gambling for baseball. The guy hasn't been allowed in the Hall of Fame, for years. For gambling, in a sport where he's one player and really can't affect the sport at that high of a level. That was an extreme action taken, and now you're seeing people completely divided on that one topic. Should Pete Rose be allowed? He's one of the greatest hitters of all time. To the other ones who goes, he cheated. He should be never be allowed in. Barry Bonds, somebody who did steroids. His hand-eye coordination is still one of the best in the game. One of the best hitters before steroids.
I think the answer here is the level of cheating that happened. Right, the level of cheating, and I don't know. Whatever level that's on for either side, cheating on it, whether it be a player or a CO specifically cheating, I think that would have to be evaluated individually.
A case-by-case basis.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best answer.
The severity, unfortunately,
I
is
love
going
that
to be
comment.
subjective, right? The severity is going to be subjective. Like, what do you consider terrible and unforgivable cheating compared to the person to your left and right? You know, you don't know. And this is why I just want to mention one thing here, Bill, that I like that Todd Gammon talks about, is having a board of COs and maybe some pros with the ACO, and there is a board or a committee, right, that is able to vote on decisions like, let's say, like when the Super Major was introduced, right? Who was talked to about doing this huge event? It was completely successful. It was awesome, right? But let's say there's other things that are introduced and run terribly, and it was only talked about in a small group of people. This committee, right, could bring in all the topics like what we talk about with you guys week to week, right? You guys are our committee. You know, you're the CBC committee of what is right, what is wrong on this week's topic, you know? And I think that that's something that could be beneficial to the sport in the future, is having a committee that's involved with a couple of influential pros, some influential COs, and then a couple members of the ACO staff to be able to represent the players, the COs, and the staff themselves to make educated decisions on things like what you're talking about. What is cheating? What is the severity of the action? And how do we move forward?
You need the left and right limit. And you need those standards. And new things are happening all the time with COs, right? When you have an influx of a lot of people, and if you don't know the left and right limit, that first person is probably not going to be made an example out of. The first person that's caught for something like, they're probably not. They're going to be like, hey, we don't do that. And either a suspension, I think, would probably be appropriate. Yeah. I don't want to skip over David Penny Jones.
Yeah, David Penny
But
Jones,
you're going to be pissed at me in a second. You're going to be very angry at me. And folks, let me read David's and then Zachary's, and then I gotta go to the bathroom, man. I gotta take a leak. What do you want to do?
Well, then just go. I'll read them.
Okay, no, I want to read this one because David Jones. I mean, come on. Glasgow, we have 60 plus every Thursday and 40 plus every Sunday. No CO within 65 miles.
Yeah, gotta make that happen.
That's freaking phenomenal.
Gotta make that happen, though.
That's
and
awesome.
Would they pay out 100% over there, Bill? If they had been taking 95 or 90% right now, they could have paid for their own CO application, probably some sets of boards and some tablets if they've been paying out 90%. I commend the 100%. I commend the 100%. It's great for players. I've been up there. We did a benefit tournament. That's where we did the benefit tournament for Tom and his family. Yeah. It was a great crowd, dude, and freaking awesome time. And those people, Corey Stone, throwing stones up there. Damon Dennis is in there all the time. Philip Hayden, Terry Mathis. I mean, Corey Morrison. It is a great group of people. David Penny Jones, David Wellman. I mean, I cannot even say enough great people that go into that venue. I'd love to see a CO up there.
All right, Bierman. Should it be a requirement to go Facebook Live for COs and tournaments to prove the tournament is being hosted and ran correctly? Also, it will grow the sport as more people share tournaments and create more buzz. I like that comment for one reason, because you're talking about growing the sport and share more buzz. Although I don't like that comment for another reason, which is that requires COs to have Facebook. I didn't have Facebook before we started this company. I didn't have Facebook 6 months into this company.
He's a big Facebook guy.
I didn't care about Facebook whatsoever. That's something that hurts me. But that is a great example of a control measure that could be in place to ensure that these things are running properly. Is there a different check-in? Sure, maybe 5 random teams out of each division have to say this actually happened.
Well, maybe
if that's something, sure, that's a control
maybe there's
measure.
A regional survey just like they do a major survey.
Yeah, but if nobody's... But I mean, if it's on your phone, like the tournament can't start until
if it's possible.
These 5 random teams in whatever tournament say...
like that.
I accept. But something like that. I'm not saying it has to be that. But there could be something like that on the back end that says this tournament is running and verified by more than one people, which means that one person would have to collude with 5 teams to ensure that something happened. And that's either very rare or non-existent.
Right. Are you going pee-pee?
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
We gotta move in and out.
Oh, jeez.
Don't look at my legs.
Oh, it's a 10,000 square foot plant.
Don't look at my legs, folks. You sick people. All right, Amber Fretwell. Well, let's move through the comments. I'll move through these quicker than Bill. But I mean, we are adults. We shouldn't be cheating. I'm not even gonna read the whole comment. 100%. Amber, because when we go to a major, you'll have to play the tough players. That's right. And regional points have become watered down. We all know that. There's so many players that are going to max out now. Randy says players should have to call out something and have CO enforce it. I agree, but let's be honest, Randy. It's just not going to happen that way. Like, not everybody's going to call everything out. Not everybody is an aggressor or a type 1 personality person, and we have to be completely okay with that because we're going to accept all people into the sport. AT Klinger, if you're the CO and you're in that tournament, ... I don't think that's completely wrong as long as you can manage things the right way. It is tough. I was a CO and playing at the same time. It is really tough. I gave up playing to broadcast and commentate, folks. I mean, it is very hard to do multiple things at one time in the realm of cornhole. Miguel's saying, where did your comment go, Miguel? You said, gosh dang, we're so far behind. I agree with Amber. No tournament should be ran with minimum players unless your venue is too small. And if that's the case, you shouldn't be a CO. Yeah, I mean, we know there's multiple tournaments. 12 players is too small, but like we talk about, some players are in areas where that's what it is, Miguel or Amber, and if we take it away completely, then it can never grow, right? We allow it to never grow if we take it away just because it's small right now. I do think they should be monitored a little bit closely just because we know that sometimes those tournaments aren't super integrity based and the right things aren't happening around those very small tournaments. But if they are monitored correctly, I believe we can have the right grip on them to be able to tell the CO, hey, you have to grow by X number of players by a date, and then if you don't, then we have to start talking about removing you from running regionals or how many you do a month or something like that. That's what my solution would be for small regionals. Don't take them away, but make sure you incentivize them growing or force the growth. Therefore, the CO can't continue to run these tiny regionals, these small regionals at odd hours and earn themselves points or their families or players or whatever may be going on. That's what I've got for that, to be honest. What else we got here? Bill, I'm catching us up. Jacob Coleman, I just don't think a CO should have to step in for an instance if me and you are in a game and you're stepping over the line every throw. Yeah, we're switching seats.
I'm in the little dog seat.
I'm just, okay, Bill. And I still have to put the bags in the hole. Why cause a scene? Jacob Coleman, that's fine. I think a lot of that is just, why are you touching me? Don't touch my leg.
Scoot over.
Bill, touch my leg, folks.
They see my desk.
Okay.
They're not supposed to see my desk.
There you go. Bill does this, guys. He does
All right, let's go.
All right. Jacob Coleman saying, like, you shouldn't have to call it out. Like, as a player, like, you shouldn't have to ask somebody to intervene. As a player, you should always call it out.
100% agree.
But he's saying, like, it's my problem. I need to put bags in the hole. And I do think that people should be held to the standard of playing the sport the correct way, right? Like, there is a thing there where...
If we're talking about specific tournaments and players in there, the biggest issue with that is having a certified official or somebody at every single board to make sure the game is played appropriately. Although on this level, I agree with that. I agree that there should be a massive group of volunteers or something that ensures that, hey, this dude is distracting that one, or this thing is happening, at this court. Because I've heard so many times that things are so distracting or happening at their court that it's just like, this is bull. You know what I mean? This person's taken 2 minutes to throw each bag. Right. Took 15 minutes to show up at the court. I waited, 15 minutes. I didn't report him. I didn't say anything about it. And that should be a forfeit, in my opinion. These tournaments got to run. Stuff like that. I agree.
I think, we deal with that with Fergie, and this isn't a call out to Fergie at all. Fergie's having a great time. And to be honest, if Fergie was to find out his match was forfeited, he would just go find his cocktail and start partying again. That's just who he is, right? But I do think there should be some limits and restrictions like that. It should be okay to call those things out. Yeah. Like, Scoreholio has a warm-up time. It counts it. And I think a very fair time is 10 minutes. And I think if you don't make it to the board in 10 minutes and you hit the start button, because you can hit it before you do your down and back, folks. I know nobody does, but if the time was 10 minutes and you knew that it was 10 minutes, you would get there. And when the second player showed up, you'd make them hit the start thing. But there's a bell you can ring saying you are there as just you, and then the other player has to come in and hit the same thing.
Right.
And when 10 minutes is up, Scoreholio automatically forfeits it, right? It's not somebody over the mic going,
Yeah, it's like, hey,
Gary Ferguson, you forfeited your match.
If Scoreholio did it on its own,
Scoreholio
hey, can't mess with it.
Right.
Now, if there is an extenuating circumstance where that person talks to the tournament director first and says, hey, I got to take this phone call, it's an emergency, or whatever it may be, maybe that time can be extended. But honestly, I think a 10-minute timer on anything should be... Dude, if you can't make it there in time, I mean, we're all there to play freaking cornhole and hang out with our friends. If you're doing a little too much hanging out and you don't make it to that court, I mean, just think, like, and the only reason I have this perspective is because we usually stream either center court or court 1.
Yeah.
Right? If we have to wait 10 minutes, sometimes we go from 300 viewers to 50 viewers sitting in there.
That's
and I'm not saying like
sport,
viewers is the only thing for this, but I'm saying it gets to, what am I supposed to talk about for 10 minutes and then get up and leave the stream alone while I got to go find a play? Like,
Folks,
it's not my job to go find that
This
player.
weekend, though, the good thing is when we have downtime, I'll just be playing Bill live so you guys can see how that goes.
Yeah, you're going to see how it goes. He's going to get smoked.
I hope that's,
Shots fired.
I hope that's what happens.
All right. If the CO had to step in, then their decision needs to be respected. DJ, 100%. The COs are the law of the land at those tournaments.
Yeah.
100%. What they say, if there's not a rule written for it that isn't available in public to see that rule, what the COs say is the law of the land, in my opinion.
I want to talk about what Miguel said right here. Running a tournament at 7 a.m. or maxing it at 12 to get in-house points is my opinion. Like, he's saying that shouldn't happen. 3 to 4 boards or more, you should accommodate the players. So these are two different situations that have happened. A tournament at 7 a.m. and a tournament that just happened recently that I found out about. I won't say where it is or anything, but somebody messaged me about it. They capped it at 12 players. They had at least 3 sets of boards. And what had happened is they maxed it at that because they heard the pros were coming. This is the story I've heard, folks. I have no idea how true this is, but let's roll with that's.
This is my armrest now.
No,
Thank
it's
you.
not. You don't have. Oh, I don't have armrest.
Yeah.
Folks, this chair sucks. And
I'm sorry, he was on my armrest.
I got a freaking good thing. I got like some ribs.
I want to take the first one at 7 a.m. because there are situations that could be okay. That could be okay. I think if you run a tournament at 7 a.m. and you have a showing,
okay,
right?
No, you do a pre-registration minimum.
Right. If there are, and I don't want to say like 3 people minimum. I don't want to say something like that because you, as a CEO, you could be taking advantage of the system and something like that. So that usually means there has to be a couple more control measures. So if you run a tournament at 7 a.m., let's say you have 15 people for a single tournament and 3 sets of boards. That's probably appropriate. Like, that's probably okay to do something like that. So, and there are people that work nights and get off at that point in time. But if you're in an area that doesn't happen and you're making it stretch to get just the minimum amount of players for your specific tournament, I don't think that should be allowed.
That's not allowed.
Personal opinion. I don't
not
think
be
so.
allowed. Yeah. The thing about maxing players, if it is a regional for points, I don't care what the division is, there should not be a max. Never for a regional.
I think there should be the ACO analytics for a max.
We've overdone it.
Let's say
I know what it is, folks, because I am a mathematician. A bracketologist, as some would say.
We believe it's out there. We'll count the boards in Clarksville. Folks,
well, no,
if we want to know a formula.
Over it in Clarksville.
Well, if we want to know close to a formula anyway, let's count the boards that are in Clarksville, and we'll count the amount of players that have registered for singles, doubles, or whatever it may be, and we'll divide it. And we'll say, hey, so there's a formula out there that says if you have this many players per this many boards, that would give you the 1-to-1 average.
I mean,
so
I can just say what I know. What I know is I believe 8 players per boards runs the smoothest.
You can't say what I know is what I believe. What you know is either the truth, and what you believe that leaves
what
leeway.
I believe is the algorithm.
Okay.
Is 8 players per board, and that runs the smoothest tournament.
Yep.
So we will see how true that holds this weekend. because we will do the math. We will count.
There's
the time.
many other variables.
A lot of
Tournament
variables.
directors running
if
different.
Fergie is in a bracket, that will slow down the bracket by at least 17.3 minutes, at least.
Right. So I would. I don't mind having a.
I don't like maxing out the regional at 12. There's no way 12 could be the number.
Right.
There's no way. It has. If you're gonna max it out, there's a minimum requirement, which is 7.
It's true.
Right. So there has to be a minimum requirement to max it as well. Right. I would say 3 sets of boards. I would say 24 is the number minimum that you can max a regional at it. I mean, this is me spitballing. This is me looking at this and doing this right now in my head.
Well, you got to think of all the variables. So the variables are how many sets of boards.
Yes.
How long the event is.
Yes.
Right. There's smaller variables that probably average out over time with like having Fergie there. Right. That's something small that averages out over time.
You really can't count.
That's why you can't count that one. Is because if something averages out over time, you can't count that for a specific tournament. So the amount of boards, the amount of players, and the amount of time are probably the 3 pillars of figuring out how long is it going to take me to run this specific tournament.
If the venue is going to close at a certain time is what you mean by the amount of time.
That's exactly what
the amount of the CO's time is technically irrelevant because you have taken the position almost as a volunteer.
Right.
You have actually paid.
If the place is open at 2 in the morning, if the CO goes 0-2, they're there till 2 in the morning, and we've seen that time and time again.
You can't say this tournament stops at midnight because I need to go home. Would that be great? Yes. And most of the time, does that work out? Yes. But as the CO, it cannot be an excuse if the venue is still open that you get to make your own bedtime, which then limits the tournament to the players showing up.
The answer to this question is, I promise you, the CO, or not the CO, the ACO has this specific information for their formula on time, amount of players, and amount of boards.
No, Scoreholio does it for you as well. Scoreholio, if you plug in players, it'll tell you how long.
But I'm just saying,
but it'll determine
to make a rule, Scoreholio is not the governing body of Cornhole.
It could be.
You know what I mean? The ACO is. The ACO is.
Scoreholio is smart.
What I'm saying is the ACO could make a standard, and they could probably do it very, I don't want to say conservative because that means fewer players, but very loose. They could probably do this and have a great number for it. So if you are that CO and you have that many sets and this and that, it could be a number. All right, David Penny Jones. I just feel so blessed that people invest their time for me to play cornhole. 100%. Yep. I love the game. So excited to get my new bags tomorrow night, dude. Come on, let's go.
Ronins, baby.
Thank you guys for what you were doing. Okay, thank you. I wouldn't have read that if I knew it was just about us, but dude. David Jones, I hope I get you in the blind draw tomorrow, dude. I really do.
For Craig.
Greg Scott, I agree. 10 minutes is plenty of time. 100, I think that is too. I really do. If everybody knows that rule, very much appreciate this comment. Feel so blessed. Thank you. Hey, Chucky, I appreciate that, dude. Greg Scott, I got 20 on Dylan. Dude, Greg, I don't know you. Who's Greg, dude? Hey, Greg. You're not allowed in the booth, Greg. All right, I'm just joking, dude. I hope to see you there all freaking weekend. Wes says COs need ACO sheriff badges.
Let's go. That'll be
man, if it makes you seem like you're the law, 100%.
Like on the CO, Russ, you can get a CO jersey if you are a CO and a bag maker. Then if the CO jerseys had a little, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, like a little flare, an extra lightning bolt or something on it.
No, like a badge, like it looks shiny, like it's just on the jersey.
Yeah, something.
No,
maybe
lightning
black
bolts.
And gold. Lightning bolt, man. You stand out from everybody else. All right, Hoppy. The taking too long to get the board was a comment on the CO, but yeah, 100%. I believe there's going to be a ruling out there too long for the max time to get to the board. Yeah, I think there should be. Regionals getting out of hand. Zachary Russ says. I don't remember what we were talking about at that point. Not on a Tuesday or Thursday, 7 a.m. is stupid. Miguel, I'm 100% in agreement with you. Unless that person can somehow pull a number of people that work nights.
The minimum is 7. If you're pulling 7,
if I'm in New York and I'm a CO in New York, and there's the population density is insane, and tons of people work at night, to where I'm getting numbers at that time, I think that's fine. If it's not getting those numbers at that time, That's garbage.
Yeah,
Complete
I
garbage.
want to read this one, Bill, because that is
Okay,
very
you go
important.
for it. You go for it.
Harry Covington says the reason they run a tournament that's capped at 12, so somebody who commented this, now Eric is expanding on it, is so they can run their weekly blind draw after that singles of 12 person are done and 4 were pros.
You
That
explained
is
that
not-
so bad. I don't even know what the comment
I'm sorry.
was.
So what he's saying is they run a singles tournament.
Okay.
They cap it at 12 people so that it ends early enough to be able to run the blind draw afterwards that they do every week. So they're not stopping their weekly blind draw. They're just adding singles in front of it, but they're capping it so that it runs quick enough to still run the blind draw. To me, that is crap. If you're going to run the regional, the singles regional, and you have a venue that can run more players than 12, then that regional takes precedence. If you are a CO, and like we talked about earlier, running 2 different tournaments, right? But we talked about it on 2 different nights. Mondays here
You gotta
in
have a fun
Clarksville.
night, or every other week.
Mondays
or
are
every other
regionals.
week.
I'm telling you right now, if there were 60 people to show up next Monday, Matthew Norris or DJ Skipworth, or the 2 of them, or Zachary Bierman, would be there until the tournament finished, regardless of what time it was.
Yeah.
That is what would happen
Yeah,
here.
they do.
And then on Friday we'd run Sinking and Drinking, and we've been there till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, folks. We've been having a great time. The Axe makes enough money. They accommodate us. They're supposed to close at midnight, and they will stay open for us because
They do.
we bring them business. We appreciate them. They appreciate us.
Which I don't want to say that the Axe is unique for doing something like that. What I do want to say is that there's actually laws in cities that say if you're a bar, you can stay open at 2 a.m. as long as it's 21 and up. If you are not a bar and you're this venue that serves alcohol that stays open until, maybe you can only do midnight. So them kind of staying open while we clean up and stuff like that after midnight is completely different. There are laws about these things to where, you can't just expect a certain business to be able to stay open until 4 a.m. So
All right, Bill, let me read the comments. Cause
Jack Arcrow, I don't even read the next one.
Jack said we need a love seat. That's pretty funny.
We're going to get one, Jack.
I'm not going to read Booker's. Booker's angry. I love it.
What did he say?
Okay, you can read it. We're not reading it out loud.
Okay.
Chucky would never max the tournament. How many sets of boards are there? We have 6 sets of boards, Ashley. We might run 5, but we're probably going to end up running 6.
It's gonna be
tight.
It's gonna be packed. Ashley, I'll buy you a beer.
10 players per team per board. That's what Daryl and him come up with. That's solid.
For how much time though?
Cornhole has a calculator built in. I talked to this. Hoppy probably commented this before I said it. We have the same mind. He's my fashion pick. And
he's going for so many brownie points. I don't know if it's him or the mustache talking.
30 players playing on 4 boards will get you out the door at 11:30 or 12. Miguel says, we're trying to catch up here, folks. We're at 2 hours, dude. We're freaking killing this thing.
Booker, dude, if it's you and me, we're throwing slow bags, dude. We're gonna roll the whole entire time. Booker.
Bill has claimed 16 blind draw
I
partners
will be
at this point.
one of the happiest people in the world if I get you as a freaking teammate, dude. It's true.
Still alive, bro. Bryce must have came back. Dude, I can't keep up with these. Beaver's in here. We got some Beaver in the chat. Let's go.
What up, Beaver? I love me some Beaver.
We're talking Tennessee. Not my issue. I've been to regionals. What Booker say here? I've been to regionals in Indiana where they run a regional on one half of the boards and a fun blind draw on the other half. Do that. Don't cap it. I agree with that. I mean that is a solution. Just keep the cornhole.
Blind draw is going to start the X before you get to this comment. Thanks, Dustin. I appreciate that worthless comment that I had to freaking read to get to the next one.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just joking.
All right. Oh, Caleb's bringing me a surprise, not you, Bill. Let's go. I'll have a set of CBC bags to sell after tomorrow night. Anybody need any? Todd, actually, folks, does have a nice set of CBC bags. And if Todd wasn't so angry, he'd probably be sponsored. But his therapist
sell after tomorrow night if anyone needs any.
His therapist told us that we couldn't sign him.
Todd, that was below the belt. Todd, I think you're unsponsorable.
Todd couldn't make the list. There's a small list, folks, of players that are unsponsorable by CBC. We would never disclose this list. It is not written. It's not even written down. Me and Bill know it.
Todd, you're on the pre-list list.
You're on the list before the list.
Especially after that comment.
Yeah, he's on the list before the list. Before the list. That's where you're at, Todd.
We could still go to a barbecue place, barbecue buffet.
Now you're definitely have to pay though.
Yeah, you got to pay 100% if we're going to go. If we're going to show up to that. Although, you're on the pre-list list. And if that dinner doesn't show up in Clarksville at Clarksville third base, you may be on the main list. This list never changes either.
Justin said y'all been talking for 2 hours and fuss about having to fill 10 minutes. We love you too, buddy. This is different.
All right. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here, folks.
Hit the sign off real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if the names are gonna come up in the wrong spot, Dylan is in the big
I'm
dog
actually
seat.
Maggie Geiger. See, Maggie Geiger.
Yeah.
ACO Pro.
Oh, it's this one. I'm Wayne Brown.
Yeah, I mean Maggie Geiger, major champion. I've done some serious things. I wash my clothes, and me and Wayne, we throw pretty good. That sounded more like Middle Eastern.
Yeah, that wasn't that one. That was not the northern accent.
I gave it a shot.
The southern Canada accent,
Maggie,
I think, is what we would say.
Maggie will laugh at it. Hey, folks. Thanks for staying in here with us. Gosh dang, it's been a
What
ride.
are we doing?
I don't know how we're in. We have so many bags. Folks, we have made so many bags this last week and a half. We appreciate everybody's support, dude, for the Clarksville Major.
Yeah,
we are stacked
definitely.
and ready to go. For us, for me and Bill, it starts tomorrow around noon. And it won't end until most likely Sunday morning. And
it's going to be bad.
we're already tired. But hey, folks, you're going to see smiles on our faces. You're going to see swing oil in our hands. And you're going to see us ready to freaking party and love
When you
Cornhole.
guys are leaving and driving home, and I say you guys as in Todd Gammon because he's going to be out at like 10 p.m.
Todd Gammon, I'm predicting a
10 p.m. in doubles, he's going home.
17th in bracket singles.
That's going to be 17th.
And a 25th in doubles.
Yeah. Todd's going to be driving home. He's going to turn the stream on just to listen to it. We're still going to be there at 2 a.m. Todd will be home probably at midnight because he'll get out so early. And then he'll still tune in and still sit there and be like, hey, guys, great streaming.
Yeah. No, Todd,
I'm just joking, dude.
Todd will be at
that
the
puts
pre-party,
me
dude.
on the non-sponsorable list.
Todd's coming to the pre-party too. Todd and Matt. They're going to be pissed. Todd, if we are partners, I will throw 4 bill bags in a row.
If I draw you, Todd, if I draw you as my blind draw partner, we're throwing slow bags, dude. I'm sorry. We're not throwing your high-speed stuff. It's not going to happen.
Oh, Amber wants to know if we're going live with women's. The mustache.
Amber,
has made a decision.
the mustache will talk on Friday.
It's resting. I asked it.
It's resting.
It's resting.
What did it say earlier? Go ahead.
Earlier it said juniors because we could pick up probably half a women's.
Oh, Jesus.
It saw the Beaver comment and it doesn't calculate things right. So when it just sees Beaver, it's in its own mode, and I can't stop it. It doesn't know the difference. It doesn't
Beaver's
read the rest
not
of
going to
it.
be there.
I know,
Beaver's not
but
gonna be
the
there.
mustache, don't tell it.
No, okay. All right. Amber, it's undecided. I'm still going to talk to the mustache. Maybe women's. All right, we're out.
Hey, folks, thank you. Hey, it's the Clarksville sellout, folks.
Good.
It starts tomorrow. CBC has a sponsor.
We have a freaking sponsor, dude.
We're huge.
People, show up to the freaking restaurant.
Thank you
Let's
guys,
go.
man. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Hey, come say hi. Buy some freaking bags. Hey, the Ronins, it's pretty much the best bag out there.
Ronins, yeah, it really is the best bag out there. 100%. I threw it with Dylan and was throwing 9s and 12s. I had a few bill bags, but I threw 9s on those bill bag rounds.
Yeah, no. I'm throwing a lot
does
of
it
bill
say?
bags tomorrow. I feel bad for whoever draws me. Hey, folks, thank you. This is CBC, Faith Family 4-baggers.
They can hear you.